Welcome to the Brian Craig Show. My name is Brian, and this is where MAGA comes to talk. Welcome, one and all. Well, it looks like there's some justice coming with the lawfare people on multiple fronts. Multiple fronts. We have a couple of big stories here in a couple of different parts of the country that show that the lawfare conspirators against President Trump are being brought to justice. The first one I'm going to get into involves Kash Patel and what he's done, but you know, these lawfare cases, I know there's a lot of people impatient about it. Believe me, I'm impatient. These are very complex cases going up against some very powerful and connected people. And you've seen all the problems that the Justice Department have had with these grand juries and everything, not bringing charges. Like, look at Fanny Willis. Fanny Willis with all those mortgage cases. Come on, give me a break. These are difficult cases to get indictments on. So things are really coming together. And this is a good thing. And I want to start with this one. Here's the headline. This is being reported in the Gateway Pundit as well as Mediaite. And I mentioned Mediaite because they're left wing. Here's the headline in the Gateway Pundit. Biden FBI obtained phone records of Kash Patel and Susie Wiles, who's President Trump's chief of staff now, during Trump classified docs investigation. Kash Patel responds by firing 10 FBI officials. You know, this deep state that we've had against President Trump working as hard as they've been working, these are some pretty entrenched people. They're what they are is the secret government, but they're also a cult. A cult. They really are. I'll talk more about that as it goes on. Listen to this Gateway Pundit today. Joe Biden's FBI obtained phone records of Kash Patel and Susie Wiles back in 2022 and 23 as part of Jack Smith's investigation into classified documents lawfully stored at Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate. Kash Patel said this: "It's outrageous and deeply alarming that the previous FBI leadership secretly subpoenaed my own phone records, along with those of now White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles, using flimsy pretext and burying the entire process in prohibited case files designed to evade all oversight." Okay, now before I go on, what they were doing was fishing. They were fishing. They were looking for something. All their investigations, they tossed Mar-a-Lago. They'd been investigating the president for years. They got nothing. So they figured if they got the phone records with Kash and Susie Wiles, and phone records include text message transcripts and such, and who knows, maybe even listening in, but at least the text messages, they're fishing for information. But you know what this tells us? You know, one of the biggest takeaways from what happened with Kash Patel and Susie Wiles here and President Trump through all these investigations, do you know what the biggest conclusion is? Of all these things, lawful and unlawful, mostly unlawful actions, you know what the biggest takeaway is? President Trump and his entire team, which includes Susie Wiles and Kash Patel with this news story, are squeaky clean. They went on fishing expeditions and found nothing. They broke into Michael Cohen's office when he worked for the president because they were fishing, and he was a creep, so they found things. But they got nothing here. Kash Patel fired at least 10 of the FBI officials involved in secretly subpoenaing his phone records. The FBI subpoenaed Kash Patel and Susie Wiles' phone records in 2022 and 2023 when both were private citizens as part of a federal probe into then-former President Donald Trump, Fox News has confirmed. At least 10 FBI employees were fired Wednesday. This is yesterday. Reuters first disclosed the subpoenas, which were issued during the Biden administration, while special counsel Jack Smith was investigating Trump's efforts. Okay, it goes on. Jack Smith goes on about Jack Smith, which I'm not gonna get into all that because it's not important. But this all happened just yesterday. So, if there was anything even embarrassing like some embarrassing text messages between Kash Patel and his girlfriend, as an example. They would have leaked that out to discredit him. Same goes with Susie Wiles. All right? And they found nothing. And I'll tell you another thing, too. This surveillance state, police state that we were living in with the Bidens, this is an indicator. I mean, this is right out of Putin's Russia. This is right out of Stalin's Soviet Union. Right? People have a differing viewpoint than they have politically, and they want to find something on them to send them away to prison. President Trump is not part of the political class. They can't buy him. They can't blackmail him. They found nothing on him. All their years of investigation, their fake Russian dossier and everything, and they never stopped fishing. So why did they keep fishing? You know why they kept fishing? Why do you think they kept fishing? You know, by the time that they broke into Mar-a-Lago, they had been fishing into Donald Trump's past for years and years and years. Why do you think they kept fishing? Why do you think? There's a specific reason. You know why? Because they're such scumbags that they cannot envision top people like Donald Trump and those around him not being low-life scumbags like they are, involved in some type of immorality. They just, it's not even in the realm of possibility that people could rise to the level of President Trump, Kash Patel, Susie Wiles, and others around them and not have skeletons. They just don't have the ability to even conceive, because that's how scummy all of them are. And this is a great thing. I've got more on this where the radio show will begin in a few minutes, and I'll get into more on this. And there's also been another big story about the lawfare against President Trump that just dropped, which I'm going to share as well. I'm going to cover a lot of things on the program today, including the Candace Owens video yesterday, disgusting video on Erika Kirk. I did watch it. And I imagine a lot of you did as well. And we'll talk about that. It's disgusting. It's nonsensical. You get a headache watching it because it makes no sense. I mean, you're watching the incoherent ramblings of a psychopath, right? Who thinks they're putting pieces to some puzzle together. And that'll give you a headache, tell you the truth, watching that Candace Owens part 1. But we'll talk about that and a whole bunch more on the program today, and take your calls. I cannot believe it is Thursday already. Holy smokes, where did the week go? Now, if you'd like to call in, the number is toll-free, 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call, no matter where you are listening. Oh, did you see that Ilhan Omar's guest to the State of the Union was arrested? She misbehaved at the State of the Union, and she got herself arrested. Oh, my goodness. You know, Ilhan Omar has lost control. She's really panicked, and she's so panicked she doesn't know how to even react. So we'll talk a little bit about that, and there's just so much going on in the news right now. And I watched today an entire breakdown on how the United States and the Mexicans took out this big cartel leader. Oh, my goodness. It was pretty amazing. So I'll talk a little bit about that as well. The president has made the war on drugs, which is the one war this country should have been fighting decades ago. And President Trump has made the war on drugs, I think, a number one top priority in his administration. Doesn't it seem that way? This guy that they took out, he had $20 billion in cash reserves at his disposal. And that doesn't include all the money that he had hidden and buried all over the place. I mean, he had $20 billion in cash ready at his fingertips. And I listened to a phone call that he had with a Mexican police officer because the police were getting too close to it. This guy was a scary guy. And it's a big blow to the drug cartels to take that guy down. So I'll talk a little bit about that as well Let's see, what time we're going to be on. We're going to be on in less than a minute. So if you're on hold, hang in there. The number is toll-free, 888-465-2631. Yeah, and we got about 35 seconds. I cannot believe it's Thursday already. That State of the Union yesterday was just so great. Or day before yesterday. We were processing it yesterday. That State of the Union was a great boost of energy, wasn't it? Oh, for us, not for the left. For the left, it was disastrous. That was the most disastrous State of the Union for the Democrats ever. It just was. All right, we got about 15, 20 seconds and we'll be live. Yes, Ilhan Omar's worth an estimated 30+ million. That's correct. Welcome to the program, everyone. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. Welcome, one and all. We've got a lot to cover today, and I'm going to cover a lot of things today and take your calls. While it's on the top of my mind, and then I've got some big political stories involving Kash Patel and others that I'm going to get to, I want to talk about this part one of this investigative series that Candace Owens dropped on Erika Kirk yesterday. I watched it. It's about an hour long. It is very difficult to watch because Candace Owens is crazy as crazy gets. She's not a sane person. She's psychotic. And she thinks that she's putting pieces to a puzzle together, and it's the ramblings of a crazy person. And frankly, when I was watching it, I was getting a headache. And I want to talk about this in the beginning because I did watch it, and I feel a calling to talk about it. You know, I have a lot of MAGA t-shirts, a lot. And I've got like a couple of drawers in my dresser that are just t-shirts. And when I get up in the morning, they're all in there. I don't choose. I just grab whatever's there, whatever's on top, and I grab it. You know, everything's put away, everything's folded. It's dark. I can't see anyway. I just reach in my t-shirt drawer. I grab a t-shirt and I put it on when I get out of the shower. And today, when I put on a t-shirt, it's a Charlie Kirk t-shirt. And it has in it one of the last photographs taken of him right before he was assassinated by the Never Trumpers. And I don't think it's a coincidence that out of all of the t-shirts I have, that I just randomly grabbed a Charlie Kirk t-shirt. I don't have too many Charlie Kirk t-shirts. And when I put this shirt on, I said, you know, I think this is not, I don't think this is a coincidence. And I think I'm supposed to talk about, someone wants me to talk about this Candace Owens video. So I'm going to do that now, and then after the break, I'll get into what Kash Patel is doing. And there's been two big stories in different parts of the country involving the lawfare people against the president being brought to justice. So we're going to get to all of that as the show goes on. So hang in there, and those of you on hold, hang in there. Candace Owens released part one of a docu-series on Erika Kirk. And everyone knows we got a bitter, jealous woman here with Candace Owens. She's jealous of a lot of things about Erika Kirk. She's completely psychotic. And I made a prediction just by seeing the trailer. It's called The Bride of Charlie. And I made a prediction just by seeing the Candace Owens trailer that I believe has been backed up by watching the first part of it. And I did watch it, yeah. I mean, how can I talk about it without watching it? Right? Completely incoherent. But what her goal is, she is freaking out that Erika Kirk is the CEO of Turning Point USA. Now, we don't know this for sure, but my belief is that she's a figurehead CEO. She might be the CEO, but she's a figurehead. Like the King or Queen of England, constitutionally, by the British Constitution, they're the head of state. But are they running the government? Really? No. And an organization like Turning Point USA a lot of it, most of it, is funded by donations from big money donors. And when you're dealing with big money donors, you need to have a big celebrity name at the top of it. And that's what Charlie Kirk did that. And now his wife is being put in that position. And Candace Owens is attempting to discredit every moment of Erika Kirk's life. And she's trying to get the donors to stop donating and get her removed as CEO. And I believe her ultimate goal is one of two things. Either to destroy and put Turning Point USA out of business, or find a way for her and her husband to take it over, and either she or her husband will be the CEO, but Candace Owens plans on being the front person for Turning Point USA. It's one of those two possibilities. That's what her goal is. It's obvious. I mean, she is a bitter, angry woman. I mean, it's like Fatal Attraction, frankly, isn't it? When you watch it, it's like Fatal Attraction with Glenn Close and Michael Douglas. And this part one, she began by reading a tweet from someone who was calling Erika Kirk a psychopath, which was very strange. But it starts covering, and I'll play a clip or two in a bit, and you'll see how crazed and confused. But when she starts talking about Erika Kirk, she starts going back in time with Erika Kirk's family, and she spends a lot of time talking about her great-grandparents, and she has a news clipping from 1941 that she says, and I don't know if it's true or not, but she has this news clipping from 1941 that Erika Kirk's grandmother was involved in running some numbers racket. You know how mobsters run those number rackets? They call them lotteries. Where you know what I'm talking about? That she was arrested for participation in a numbers racket in 1941, organized financial gambling crime, which is to set the stage that you can't trust Candace Owens, or you can't trust Erika Kirk, I should say. I meant to say, with the money of Turning Point USA. It was very strange. Then, so she says that her great-grandmother in 1941 was involved in this illegal lottery scheme, a numbers racket. And then her grandfather, now that was her great-grandparents, then she moves to her grandparents, and that her grandfather, I forget what part of the country, was it Pennsylvania? I can't remember what part of the country it was, but that he had a career working for his state's lottery. And she has a photograph of her grandfather with lottery tickets being printed off the printing press for the state lottery, whatever state it was. Pennsylvania pops in my mind, but I could be wrong about that. So she's showing that she does this whole thing that her great-grandmother in 1941 was involved in this illegal lottery, a numbers game, and then her son, Erika Kirk's grandfather, was involved in a legal lottery thing. Then she goes through documents about that have to do with the marriages of her grandparents and her parents, and she says the dates don't line up to what Erika Kirk has said over the years. That's normal. If I started to give you dates about when my parents met and got married and divorced, I might have some vague idea, but I would probably be off. No scandal there, but she puts, she even goes to, and I can't recall, maybe some of you do, because I know millions of people have watched this video, not just me. She even goes into was it the preschool or kindergarten class? She whatever was the first school Erika Kirk attended, it was either preschool. This was an hour-long thing. It was either preschool or kindergarten. I can't remember which. But she was questioning what Erika Kirk said about her, whether it's either her kindergarten or preschool school enrollment. Now, I know where I first went to school in kindergarten, but my recollection about everything is through the mind and eyes of a 5-year-old child, so it's blurred, and who knows how right or wrong I'd be about such things. Very bizarre. Then she talks about some comments that were made by a roommate of Erika Kirk, I guess in college, who's Jewish, and accusing Erika Kirk of being a Jew, which is very strange. I found the entire hour difficult to watch, and I'm not exaggerating by saying that it gave me a headache, because I'm watching a crazy woman think that she's putting together this mystery on some bulletin board, drawing the lines to some vast fraud and criminal conspiracy of Erika Kirk. Now, I'll take our first break, and if you saw this, I would very much welcome your calls and your thoughts, whatever your thoughts are on the Candace Owens Part 1. And I'll finish up. I'll play a couple clips after the break and a few more thoughts on it. And then I'll get back into Kash Patel's really on the job against the lawfare people. Big time. We're going to get into that and a whole bunch more. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show. My name is Brian, and this is where MAGA comes to talk. I want to remind you guys, Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing, if you have a wet spot on your ceiling, you've got a leak in your roof, and you want to call Tom Laporta. You really do. You know, Tom Laporta will never sell you a roof you do not need, meaning if you need just a simple repair, he will do it. You know, he does every type of structure, residential, commercial, municipal, works with every type of roofing material. He does incredible work. I've seen the work he's done on multiple homes and properties, and it's masterful work. Also, he covers both the east and west coast of Florida and everywhere in between. Give Tom Laporta a call. This number rings directly to Tom Laporta's cell phone, 954-604-4602. So you can call or text 954-604-4602, and online, laportaroofing.com. Now, the number on the website, laportaroofing.com, is the office number, not Tom's cell phone. You're welcome to call the office number, but if you want to catch Tom Laporta directly, 954-604-4602. All right, we'll be back after this. All right, we are clear. Yeah, how many of you watched that that documentary of hers? I found it very difficult to watch. Very difficult to watch. And most definitely had a bit of a headache watching it. Let's see here. Yeah, it was daycare. It was a daycare. I'll play that one. Just a couple of clips I'll play. Hold on, let me see when we're going to be back. Okay. All right, hang in there. If you're on hold, stand by. We'll get to some calls in just a bit. By the way, those of you in the main live stream, that link I pinned in the chat, it's also in the description. That's from my second YouTube channel. And if you guys could watch that video and sub to my second channel, I made a vlog, and I started when I woke up. It was over the weekend. It was what an average weekend is for me, and you get a lot of behind the scenes of the radio show, the podcast, and my YouTube channel, and even the business end of what I do. And it begins at 1 a.m. Friday morning, this past Friday, and ends as I'm preparing for Monday morning show. And it's on my second YouTube channel, and I have the link is at the top of the main chat pin there, and it's in the description of both videos to my second channel. So if you guys could later take a look at that video, watch it in its entirety, please, and subscribe to my second channel, I would appreciate it. And I'm going to be making some vlogs over the weekend, too, that I'm going to be adding there. But you get to see all the behind the scenes of the podcast, the radio show, and my YouTube channel. All right, we're going to be back in... Stand by. Let's see here. In a little more than a minute. And if you're on hold, stand by. I'm going to play a couple of clips from Candace Owens, talk a little bit more about this. But it's really it's sad. It really is sad, Candace Owens. It's maybe she was always this crazy. I don't know. She seemed to make a lot of sense in the first campaign, Maybe Charlie kept her in check, or she lost her mind later, and I don't know. But that documentary was that part one was the ramblings of a crazy person. Don't you guys think? Was it the ramblings of a crazy person? It's 100% based on jealousy. Would you guys not agree? 100% based on her jealousy. We got less than 30 seconds of Erika Kirk. Welcome, everyone. Make sure you guys like the video. We'll be back in about 15 seconds. Stand by. Here we go. All right, we're back. I'm Brian, Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. So I want to finish up with this part one of this Candace Owens docudrama. And if you've seen it, I would imagine you've got a similar reaction to me. She thinks that she's putting pieces of a investigative puzzle together, but they're really just incoherent ramblings. I'll play you a couple. I don't want to play too many because I got a headache watching the whole hour. It'll make your eyes bleed, all right? Listen to this one. I think this is the one where she's talking about the daycare center that Erika Kirk went to.
For daycare in 1992, she attended a place called Walnut Corner Children's Center in Cincinnati, Ohio, located inside of a massive corporate building. Oddly, the filing for that daycare doesn't have a floor number, but I can show you this photo of her at daycare. LOL, by the way, to her being dressed as a little bee and accidentally throwing up some Freemason hand signs. That's just like a nice ad. She looks adorable.
Okay, did you hear that thing? Okay, so she's got a picture. This is Crazy Town, okay? This just gives you an example of what I'm talking about with her craziness, okay? She's got a photograph of Erika Kirk in daycare, dressed up in a costume as I'm not sure what. So how old is this little girl in daycare? 4? 3? And little 4-year-old Erika Kirk has her hands in front of her posing for the picture, and her fingers are touching each other, and it kind of makes like a diamond. And what do we get from Candace Owens? That she's making a Freemason symbol. Listen. I mean, these are the conclusions she comes to.
For daycare in 1992, she attended a place called Walnut Corner Children's Center in Cincinnati, Ohio, located inside of a massive corporate building. Oddly, the filing for that daycare doesn't have a floor number, but I can show you this photo of her at daycare. LOL, by the way, to her being dressed as a little bee and accidentally throwing up some Freemason hand signs. That's just like a nice ad. She looks adorable.
Yeah.
For daycare.
She's throwing up Freemason hand signs. 3 years old, 4 years old. So there's something there. There was one portion. It was a little longer, so I'm not going to play that one. But there was one. Her family. Part of her family is Scandinavian descent. And when her grandfather died, who was of Scandinavian descent, Erika Kirk posted something on social media using the Scandinavian grandpa word that she called him. And Candace Owens did this very long, drawn-out explanation from Scandinavian listeners that she had heard from that said that actually doesn't mean grandfather in Scandinavian. It means something else. Very confusing. So she's lying about being Scandinavian. Very bizarre. I think I'm just going to play... I'll play two more. This is the one of Candace Owens talking about Erika Kirk's former roommate who's Jewish.
Why does her one-time roommate, Nicole Rothstein, allege that half of their family, referring to her and Erika's family, is Jewish? Doesn't make sense. She also claimed that after Charlie's assassination, that Erika, she was online going back and forth with people, that Erika was her best friend and her cousin. Nicole Rothstein said this. Now, I want to be clear, the Rothstein family, the Zion's Gate is their dedication. Nicole wouldn't be lying if she posted that it was her family's dedication, but Erika? Also, how did Erika and Nicole Rothstein get so close? Remember, Erika presents that she was raised by a single mother on the Lebanese side. If Erika is telling the truth about her paternity, then Nicole Rothstein, I want you to understand who this would be to her. Nicole Rothstein, it's going to sound ridiculous, but this is the reality, if Erika's telling the truth. Nicole Rothstein would be Erika's father's sister's husband's previous wife's daughter's daughter. In other words, zero blood relation, not even kind of related, kind of crazy. You would even call each other cousins.
Okay, I don't even know what that means, but the father's brother's cousin's sister's friend, I'm lost. But it sounds as if she's accusing Erika Kirk as possibly being a Jew. Is that what that sounds like to you? I don't know. Oh, my goodness. Okay, I'll play one more. This is what I'm talking about, that this part one of this investigative series is the ramblings of a crazy woman. Okay, yeah, let me just share one more. Okay, yeah, I know. I watched this like an hour long. I watched the whole thing. Okay, you just got a couple of clips totaling 2 minutes in total.
What are you going to investigate? No, they're like, pray for Erika. Someone's looking into her background. Pray. Oh, she will need your prayers. Her children need your prayers. They were doing that. Pray for her children. Why? Because she's at the office the whole time? Like, what was that? What was that freak out panic? When have we ever done anything to the children at all? Ever said anything? Of course, we want the children to be great. You should not be praying for the children because an investigative series is coming out about their mother who has chosen to be the CEO in her husband's stead. That's a decision that was made.
See, that's what really she wants to be the CEO, or wants her husband to be the CEO. Okay, I'm not going to play any more clips from it, but those are just a couple of things that show you how nutty the whole thing is. I know. Can you imagine spending an hour watching? I'm going to watch every part of it, guys. I've got to watch it. If I'm going to talk about it and criticize Candace Owens, I got to listen to what she says. But I had it on the TV in our living room, and my wife's like, I got to go in the other room. I can't watch this. I'm getting a headache. I was like, yeah, I do too. I have a headache too, but I still got to watch it. You know, you could take anything if you're a skilled broadcaster or speaker and make it sound important. You know, I mean, make it sound. She's taking directions on how to put together your IKEA furniture and doing it in a dramatic way to make it sound scandalous. Does that make sense? That's what it sounds like to me. The ramblings of a bitter, jealous, psychotic person who's in desperate need of help. Yeah, I know. It's really sad. And, you know, and I share this for a number of reasons, but one of them is this. Charlie Kirk was assassinated by the Never Trumpers. And I've talked a lot from day one why they assassinated Charlie Kirk. But to sum it up without going through everything, Charlie Kirk's life was taken from him and his wife and his children and this earth because of his support of President Trump and his incredible organization for the MAGA movement. Don't you get it? He died for our MAGA movement. His life was taken because of his support and getting our president reelected. And they did it for a long game because they didn't want Charlie Kirk around for the next presidential election season or two. They think without Charlie that the MAGA movement is going to have difficult times organizing during elections. And you know what? They're right, especially with this crazy lady, Candace Owens, doing all of this. Charlie Kirk was the second most important person in the entire MAGA movement. Number one was President Trump. They shot them both. There's been multiple attempts on the president. The one that happened early Sunday morning, I talked about Monday. And you notice that assassination attempt on the president from Sunday morning, there hasn't been an update in it since Sunday. No one in the news is talking about it. And when Charlie Kirk died for the MAGA movement, that's why he's gone. That's why they assassinated him. We have to stand up, defend him and his family against these evildoers. If you're on hold, stand by. We're going to take our break for the bottom of the hour. I want to remind you guys, it's tax time. You want to call Jamie Levac over at Swift Tax. Jamie Levac can help you with your taxes no matter where you are in the United States. He does incredible work. I've talked to multiple listeners. I've talked to him myself in person. I was just talking with Steve Kane and his wife yesterday. Jamie Levac handled their taxes this year, including their business taxes. Jamie Levac at Swift Tax, he knows taxes inside and out. And you know what? He loves doing taxes. Give him a call. Jamie Levac's going to make sure that you get all the deductions that you're entitled to under the new tax codes and that you get the maximum return that you're owed. Give him a call. This number rings directly to Jamie Levac, so you can call or text 954-773-1587. 954-773-1587. That's 954-773-1587. We'll be right back.
In the holy city of Helvar, oaths aren't just spoken, they're carved into stone and burned into flesh. From author Chase Powers comes an epic fantasy where faith is weaponized, mercy is dangerous, and the truth has a long memory. Star Forged Oath, available on Amazon. Kale Ren wants only 3 things: to stay alive, get paid, and avoid anything resembling belief. Instead, he's bound to a sentient star-forged sword that remembers every broken vow and hates the men who called themselves holy. As sacred trials turn bloody and the city's most revered legends begin to crack, he's forced to choose between survival and exposing a lie powerful enough to burn a kingdom. Star Forged Oath is full of sharp banter, found family, corrupted holy orders, and magic that always comes at a cost. If you like swords that argue back, heroes who question the gods, and stories where mercy is the most dangerous weapon of all, Star Forged Oath is your next must-read book. Available right now on Amazon in Kindle, paperback, and free with Kindle Unlimited. Order your copy right now and step into the crater.
All right, we're still in radio station break. I want to play this clip. This is Michael Knowles. There was a lot of talk that Michael Knowles, Prosobic, Benny Johnson, and a few others that go around telling us what great friends they are of Charlie aren't standing up to Candace. Michael Knowles responded. Let me play this, and we're still in radio station break, so if you're on hold, stand by, and you guys can let me know what you think about what Michael Knowles says here. I don't buy this. I think this is a coward. I think they're afraid of Candace because she's crazy.
Really, this whole episode, I guess, is just oratorical lessons from President Trump that many Republicans can learn from. This is one that I hope right-wing influencers pay close attention to, because I've noticed it in recent days, recent weeks. I want to be charitable about this because I think it comes from a normal part of human nature, but it's worth paying attention to. It's worth learning good oratorical lessons from the president here. Some right-wing influencers seem to think that the best way to honor Charlie's legacy and to support Erika and the family is to spend all of their time talking about the people criticizing and antagonizing Erika and Charlie's friends and family. Does that make a lot of sense to you? There are people who seem to think the best way to honor Erika and TPUSA and Charlie is to focus all of the attention all the time on the relatively few people who are criticizing and antagonizing Erika. The most famous, of course, being Candace, who I guess has a new series about Erika, but some other people too, some smaller accounts as well. This theory, this strategy, seems to be a little bit misguided, wouldn't you say? Whether you love Candace, whether you hate Candace, whether you think Candace is sincere, whether you think she's insincere, whatever psychobabble analysis you have, do you think it makes sense, if you want to support someone, do you think it makes sense to focus all of your attention all the time talking about someone antagonizing that person?
What do you guys think? I think that they're afraid to go after Candace Owens. You know, you can go after someone who's not crazy, and no matter how destructive they are, you can deal with it. But when someone is psychotic, they're unpredictable, and they don't think about consequences, and that's scary to people, right? You know, I've dealt with crazy people in my life, and it's scary. It's crazy people are scary. I think that's a coward's way out right there. What do you guys think? All right, we'll be back in just about 15 seconds. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian Stoffenheim out of California.
Hey, California. What's up?
What I was able to see, because I have to be honest, it made me kind of sick because it didn't make any sense. Supposedly, she's starting to use these people's names. We don't really know if what she's saying is accurate. And she's going so far back in time, attempting to extract the relevance of it is amazing. And the fact that she's even doing this is absolutely disgusting. Mm-hmm. My opinion is that she was in love with Charlie Kirk. Maybe they had a relationship. Who knows? But she was a phony, and he saw through it. He wanted to be able to get rid of her without causing too much upheaval because he knew what she was like.
Yeah.
And she basically wanted to be exactly where Erika is at.
Yeah.
And she's going to make everybody pay and attempt to burn the whole thing down. She even said, either before the meeting with Erika or after the meeting with Erika, that she should be working for them as the head of the PR department.
That's right.
The woman is ill and is completely out of her mind. And I don't understand where she presents this persona of being like a wife and a mother and being a Catholic and what have you. The man is supposed to be like the force within that.
Well, I'll remind you guys, you know, Candace Owens, and Michael Knowles go to the same church in Nashville. They talked about this together recently. So they have a church relationship, you know, together too. You know, what she was trying to do was put together that the Erika Kirk family, going back to the great-grandmother in 1941, have a history of financial crimes, and that they forged public documents and have it. She's trying to portray her as somebody who comes from a crime family, who can't be. Because of this, she can't be the CEO of Turning Point USA because you can't trust her overseeing the money. That's what she was doing with that.
Yeah, I understand. I understand that perspective, and I get what she was attempting to do. Yet it still is so displaced from current, like the here and now. It just seems ridiculous. You're going to make Erika Kirk pay for what her grandparents or great-grandparents or her great-great-grandparents did?
And by the way, we don't know that this is what she's saying is true. I mean, the one clip I played where she shows Erika Kirk in preschool, 3 or 4 years old, with her hands together, and says that's a Freemason sign she's giving, hand sign she's giving. That's, come on.
You know, I can't wait till somebody, because you know how the internet does what the internet does.
Yeah.
When they start going back in Candace Owens' history and they start finding out what her family members did. And I mean,
well, you know, I'll tell you what part of it is, okay, with Erika Kirk. You go through Erika Kirk's background. See, Erika Kirk is not like most people that make their way into public life, like Hillary Clinton. You know, these other people and I'm not comparing Erika to Hillary Clinton, but I'm going to be talking about the Clintons later because they're going to be testifying, right, in this congressional hearing. Most people that are the wives of politicians, and I'm accused, I guess I'm accusing Charlie of having been a politician because he was of sorts. These are people that are groomed their entire life for these positions, either to be a member of Congress, a president, a vice president, a spouse, or something, like John Kerry as an example. These are people whose entire life is mapped out for them. So they have these perfect lives. Erika Kirk's just a normal girl who was always doing things, whether it was being in pageants or doing this or doing that. And so her life looks like a lot of us. It's all over the place, trying to find her way in the world. And you put all these things together in a dramatic way and try to make scandal out of it, is what she's doing.
You made a comment that just triggered something in my head. We have many times said before, or you've made mention before, that you could easily see that Charlie could potentially have been president of the United States, correct?
One day, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And guess what? And if Candace would have stayed with him, where would she be?
They may have gotten married. I believe the first time I remember, and this may not be the first time I heard of them, but the first time I remember hearing of Charlie Kirk and Candace Owens, really, I do remember her before she was famous. There was an app that I used to stream on called Periscope, and Candace was on that as well. And I did know her from that, but not too much. But I saw Charlie and her together on Fox. They were having breakfast at some restaurant. It was either in D.C. or New York. I don't remember. And some liberals started harassing them in this restaurant having breakfast. And I saw them on television together. And I immediately thought they were a couple. They look. I just got the energy that they were a couple. It's okay.
Exactly.
That's okay. And I don't blame Charlie. Candace was pretty good looking back then. Now she doesn't look so good to me.
Well,
but
he saw right through her and knew
he saw the crazy.
Absolute devil.
He saw the crazy.
And he knew what a problem she was going to be. And he knew where he was going. And he can't take that. He can't take that kind of baggage with him. I'm sorry, Candace. You lost.
But that's exactly right. She lost, and it's jealousy.
It's jealous and it's envy, and it's the kind of envy that ends up eating at your soul, and it's going to end up being her own demise.
I gotta tell you, I know people that are always like, I want to be like this other person. I've got a lot of hang-ups. My wife will tell you. Well, hopefully she won't, but she could. But one hang-up I do not have is envy, jealousy of others. And, there's all this talk with Zuckerberg on trial with social media. Social media, what happens with social media is people on Facebook or Instagram see their friends on vacation every day, right? And all this stuff, and they get jealous, and it eats them up inside and causes problems. And on a certain degree, that's on another level, that's where Candace is. She wants to be the grieving widow that's invited to the State of the Union that everyone feels sorry for.
Yeah. See, Candace is supposed to actually be Candace Kirk. That's the way she thinks of it in her head.
Yeah.
Her spot was supposed to be where Erika is, because she knew where Charlie was headed, and she wanted to be by his side.
She did help in the early days make Turning Point what it is, because she's very charismatic, and when she was back in those days, she was. I remember seeing her once at a university, walking, and she must have had 200 people following her as she was walking around. She was hugely famous, charismatic, and there was obviously, very good looking, a great speaker, and there was a calling to have black conservatives out there, to promote our thing. Dana Loesch said yesterday that Candace Owens is a Republican DEI hire, is what she was back then. And there's some truth to that.
that's giving her too much credit.
Well, because-
I remember
but-
seeing her
okay.
speaking in
Yeah.
Congress.
Uh-huh.
That's how I ended up seeing it.
Yeah. Well, she feels that she is owed a big part of Turning Point because she thinks that Turning Point is what it is in large part because of her. So she feels owed.
Yeah, but Turning Point saved Brexit because Brexit was going bankrupt.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, they ended up helping her out. And that's when I think that when he found out the way that she was doing her business, he basically ended up putting two and two together and knew that she wasn't going to be able to go with him.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's
she's
right.
she's pissed off at him because he gave up on her when she knew exactly where he was going.
Yes.
And it's a woman, it's beyond a woman's scorn. It's
absolutely.
I mean, I think the Candism is going to be the new term for people that have completely lost their mind.
Yeah, exactly. Like Benedict Arnold means traitor. Candace will mean crazy. All right, take care. Appreciate the call. You make some good points. All right, take care. You realize she's listening in California. It's 3:44 a.m. in California. Holy smokes. If you're on hold, stand by. It's the Steve Kane Show. My name is Brian, and I want to remind you guys, we're approaching the end of the month. The mega sale, the second annual mega sale is going on right now at mypillow.com. Huge savings with our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. It's free shipping on all orders. And this will end without notice, so I don't know when the month is over if the free shipping offer will be there still or not. So go take it, do your Mother's Day shopping, do your Father's Day shopping. Go right now to mypillow.com and use our promo code Kane at checkout while the free shipping is still available. You can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879, 1-800-716-4879. Promo code Kane, Kane. We'll be right back.
It's finally here, our second annual mega sale. This sale only comes around once a year, so take advantage of the best offers ever while you can. For example, save 50% on our Giza Dream bed sheets, as low as $29.98. And for the first time ever on TV, MyPillow mattresses and MyPillow mattress toppers, as low as $99.98. And you save 50% on our Luxe Pure 6-piece towel sets, regular $69.98. Now only $39.98. And our best-selling standard MyPillows, regular $49.98, on sale for $17.98. Wait on it, mega sale, only $14.98. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to take advantage of our second annual mega sale. But wait, there's more. To make the mega sale even more special, when you order right now, your order's going to ship absolutely free. For the first time ever, we're bringing you MyPillow mattresses and mattress toppers for as low as $99.98. Remember, sleep's all about temperature and pressure points. Whatever sleep needs you have, we have the right technology for you. Like our MyPillow mattress topper, our queen size has over 10,000 individual comfort supports to help relieve your pressure points. And how about our 3-inch Hybrid Plus mattress topper? It's infused with copper and silver to help your body get the restorative sleep it needs. And our MyPillow and Case Coil mattresses, I personally helped develop these mattresses to make sure they have everything needed to give us great sleep. Plus, they're made right here in the USA, and they ship right to your front door, absolutely free. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to get MyPillow mattresses and toppers for as low as $99.98 and free shipping.
All right, guys, we will be back in about a minute. Now I'll go back to the phones. Let's see. Less than a minute, we'll be back. So hang in there, guys. Hang in there. I got to plug in my laptop. Hold on. All right, we got about 20 seconds or so, and we'll be back. If you're on hold, stand by. All right, we're back. Our number is 888-465-2631. I can't believe it is Thursday already. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Mike from Louisiana.
Hey, Mike.
You know, Candace Owens better watch herself, because the more she talks, the more she's opening herself up for a defamation suit.
Well, I don't know. That's the. I don't know. With public people, you really can't do that too much. What she's opening herself up to is to be committed to an asylum. She's nuts.
And look, here's the deal. She's talking about times and dates and years and stuff. I mean, Erika Kirk has settled this stuff right away by releasing her wedding album.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
You know, because generally speaking, when you take your pictures on your wedding day, they put a time, a date, a year, you know, on that wedding album, and there you go.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the thing. I mean, the facts are there that she's giving these so-called facts about these times and dates and stuff, and she's probably lying about it, you know?
Mm. I don't think she's lying in her mind. I think Candace is so insane she believes this stuff. I really do. I think she's that far gone.
I mean, she's that far gone. We have already basically said that she's basically a woman scorned right now.
Mm-hmm.
Now
a crazy woman
she's
scorned.
proving to be, crazy woman scorned. Now she's proving to be that she needs a white coat and a rubber room.
That's right.
You know?
All right, you make some good points, Mike. The rest of you don't hang in there. You know, see, there's something going on right now that would not be happening if Charlie Kirk was not assassinated by the Never Trumpers. We're in big trouble in Florida. I've been talking about this all week, and I've been talking about fishback. And a lot of people are giving me a hard time talking about fishback. I call him fish sticks. This guy is gaining so much momentum in the state of Florida. He is doing an event a day. Each day, the events have more and more people in them. I don't trust this guy for a number of reasons, okay? But if Charlie Kirk had not been assassinated by the Never Trumpers, this would be settled in Florida, right? Remember, I've been telling you guys, the Never Trumpers killed Charlie because he was getting in the way of their ground game to retake the Republican Party from the MAGA Republicans. The Bush Republicans are still around. And Byron Donalds, who's way up in every poll, is taking this race and for the primary, I believe, for granted. He does have a debate scheduled with Fishback I think it's sometime in April. That's too long. You know, because, see, I know Florida politics pretty well, and those of you out there that think I'm spending too much talking about this Byron Donalds Fishback story, because I do hear from people about this, and your feedback, hey, listen, I take your feedback. I listen to it, and I consider it, no doubt about it. However, so goes Florida, so goes the Republican Party. And so goes the national election. And if Byron Donalds, who's endorsed by the president, loses this primary to Fishback, it would be devastating as we get into the main election in November. Because what the media will do with that is that they'll say the Trump endorsement means nothing. You know, I saw Byron Donalds on TV yesterday talking about the State of the Union. He was talking about interest rates or something terminal. Fishback is doing a campaign stop at least once a day. I see them all over social media. And every one he does, not only does it have more people there, he's talking about hot button issues and telling people what they want to hear. He is gaining momentum. And by the time Byron Donalds realizes what's going on, so many people are going to have an investment in Fishback, Byron Donalds could lose the primary. It is possible. This is, let me play this for you. This is a clip. I'm going to play a few clips of Fishback from the last day or two. And what really got me, I was going to lay off. I talked about Fishback the other day quite a bit. And I was going to back off of it for a while. And then, I watch the local television news here in South Florida. And Broward, Palm Beach, and Dade County. And Jim DeFeed-Me, which of the Miami news stations is he on? I forget. Remember, his name is DeFeedy, but he's morbidly obese, and I've always called him Jim DeFeed-Me. He used to be a columnist for the Miami Herald. He does a big political show. And he interviewed Fishback, and I was like, oh my goodness. And then I'm seeing these crowds, and when people get invested in their candidate, they're invested. And I feel like a man alone when it comes to Fishback. I've never seen him wear a MAGA hat. I'm very concerned. He's 31 years old. I'm very concerned about any politician who comes along that comes out of nowhere, that all of a sudden is everywhere, right? That's how we got Obama. And now Fishback, I know he was born and raised in Davie. All right, it's great, but we know nothing about him. And they want to make him, and he's got a chance to beat Byron Donalds. And when he goes to these campaign stops, he touches on all the issues that the people want to hear. And that's why he's gaining steam. I got a few clips I'm going to play. Most of them are from the same event that was in the last day or so. Here's an example. And he's a pretty large group in a school auditorium here.
No, ma'am. All we offer is murder. I would keep the baby if I just got
it's about abortion.
For the first 4 or 6 weeks. No, ma'am. All we offer is murder. Women deserve a community, a government that will look out for them at oftentimes their most anxious time, which is an unexpected or unplanned pregnancy. But Planned Parenthood does not do that. It does not help moms or dads. It does not help them come together as a family and plan for parenthood. Let me be very clear. The correct number of abortions in the state of Florida in any given year is precisely, unequivocally, 0. It's 0.
He's what he's doing is he's dangling shiny keys in front of people. He's saying things that we conservatives want to hear, right? One of the reasons I don't trust him is the same reason I didn't trust Vivek Ramaswamy. Because he came out of nowhere and was saying all the right things. And you know what? The president kicked Vivek out of the White House, right? Here's another clip of Fishback, the same event as before. This is this week, last day or two.
And I'll tell you, I've lost some friends in the Republican Party on that one, but I don't care because you can do things for Americans or you can't. Look, I'm over this game of partisanship. I'm over this game of Democrats versus Republicans right now. Because when I look at Washington, D.C., I largely see one party. What do they have in common? They take more of our money, spend it on things that we don't need, and give it to foreign countries that deep down have an utter contempt for us. I see a party that will try to rewrite history, whether it's on the left or right. Look, in America, we will teach the good, the bad, and yes, even the ugly of American history, but we will know that our history has been profoundly good. And I'll
See, I mean, the things that he's saying, you can't really disagree with because, he's telling us what we want to hear. Here's another one. He's got Byron Donalds with an Epstein connection.
But last week, it became clear that he accepted $25,000 from an Epstein-linked billionaire, a hedge fund manager.
I don't know what that means, linked. I don't know what that means, but, that's vague.
From New York, who appeared in the Epstein files 39 times, including in emails.
See what I mean? And he's calling on Byron to return that money to this Epstein-linked donor. I've got more, but he is gaining momentum. The crowd that he is speaking to there is in a school auditorium, and it's a lot bigger than the crowd I saw him at 2 weeks ago. A month ago, I saw him it was at a Starbucks at Disney Springs in Orlando with like 6 people. Now look, he's got huge crowds. Now apparently he owns a condo or something in D.C., which is a little, what's that about? And that came up. A guy asked him about why does he have this place in Washington D.C.
What is being said is that you're a resident of D.C., so hopefully you can explain that for us here.
I can, and let me give you the background on this. I was born and raised in Davie, Florida. Lived in Florida my entire life. My
See,
parents
this guy's good,
moved
isn't
to
he good?
Washington, D.C. in 2019. In 2021, I bought an apartment 3 blocks from theirs because I see my parents all the time. I talk to my parents every single day. In fact, my dad's out there right now traveling with us. I really love my parents, and I bought that place so I could visit them regularly.
Okay, and so apparently Byron Donalds was questioning his eligibility to run for governor because of this D.C. condo he owns. And he says, I've talked to lawyers, it's fine, and don't worry, That's how Byron Donalds is confronting this guy? He's slick, he's good, he's gaining momentum. We're in trouble. I've never seen him with a MAGA hat on. I don't know where he came from. I don't know who he is. But I know I'm the only one that's setting off the red alerts here about fish sticks, but someone's got to do it. Byron Donalds, I don't think realizes what a threat this is. We'll be back right after this.
Some parts of life are funny, some are messy, and some parts are just plain confusing. And that's what makes it real. In the book, That Life Stuff, available on Amazon, author Erin Mullins shares poetic reflections that explore life from different angles. The highs, the stumbles, and the lessons we don't always see coming. These inspirational poems remind us that perseverance matters, that sometimes a change in scenery can shift everything, and that when we find ourselves stuck in a rut, there's always something to learn from those blunders. This isn't complicated philosophy, it's honest insight, the kind that makes you pause and see your own story a little clearer. If you've ever needed encouragement, perspective, or simply a reminder that growth often comes from the messy parts, That Life Stuff is for you. Order your copy right now on Amazon in Kindle, paperback, and free with Kindle Unlimited, because life may be complicated, but wisdom doesn't have to be. That Life Stuff from author Erin Mullins on Amazon.
This is George Colony. I'm in the real estate business in Fort Lauderdale, Florida with Kai's Real Estate. I've been in business for 6 decades. People often ask me, what's the right time to buy or sell real estate? To tell you the truth, it's always the right time. You just need to have the right advice from the right advisor. You could call me anytime because I answer my phone on the first ring. My number is 954-801-7320. That's my personal cell phone number. And I answer it on the first ring every time. Please give me a call. I'm happy to answer any question that you have. My cell phone number is 954-801-7320.
Looking for more patients? ProvidersNook.com helps healthcare professionals get discovered. ProvidersNook.com's easy-to-use directory connects local patients with doctors, therapists, and clinics, so your practice stands out when it matters most. ProvidersNook.com makes healthcare easier to find. Patients quickly discover trusted providers nearby, and healthcare professionals gain more exposure, more bookings, and more growth, all in one powerful directory. Best of all, it's very affordable. Go right now to ProvidersNook.com. That's ProvidersNook.com, your premier healthcare provider directory. ProvidersNook.com.
For the first time ever, we're bringing you My Pillow mattresses and mattress toppers for as low as $99.98. Remember, sleep's all about temperature and pressure points. Whatever sleep needs you have, we have the right technology for you. Like our My Pillow mattress topper, our queen size has over 10,000 individual comfort supports to help relieve your pressure points. And how about our 3-inch Hybrid Plus mattress topper? It's infused with copper and silver to help your body get the restorative sleep it needs. And our My Pillow and Case Coil mattresses, I personally helped develop these mattresses to make sure they have everything needed to give us great sleep. Plus, they're made right here in the USA, and they ship right to your front door absolutely free. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to get MyPillow mattresses and toppers for as low as $99.98 and free shipping.
All right, we're still in radio station break for just over a minute. I'll take some calls, and then I'm going to get into some other things. But you're welcome to call in about anything I brought up so far. We'll be back in about a minute. And the number is pinned in the live chat, 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. Everyone, please like the video. Liking the video helps grow the channel a lot, guys. So please make sure you like the video and subscribe if you're new. We'll be back in less than a minute. All right, and I'm going to take a call or two and then get into some other stories in the news because there's a lot. I'm going through them a lot. I'm going to have to keep exposing this fishback problem. It's a big problem. And people have told me to stop talking about it. I'm not going to stop talking about it. I'm sorry. Not going to do it. All right, stand by. Hour number 2 has begun. All right, I've covered a lot. I'll take a call or two before I get into some new topics. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Joellen from Fort Lauderdale.
Hey, Joellen. What's on your mind?
Hey, Brian, I'm so with you about that fishback guy. I believe he is from the bushes.
Yeah.
You know, and they're just really trying to keep it under wraps. I remember him being on like a podcast a long time ago. That's when I started being, you know, when it started concerning me as well. Mm-hmm. I forget who he was with, but he sounded saying all the right things, too perfect for.
Yeah, and I've never seen him in a MAGA hat. And
he's not a MAGA. No, absolutely not.
No, and he you know, I call it shiny keys. What he does, like one of the things he was talking about yesterday is how he wants to drug test kids in public school if they reek of marijuana, you know, and things like. He says things that we conservatives agree with, but it just doesn't seem natural to me. I'm very worried about this primary. I'm very worried about it. But you know, I'm worried. I saw Byron on CNN yesterday, and I just think he's not in touch with reality here.
Well, I don't know. You have more what about your connections? I mean, maybe you can.
I'm screaming at the top of my lungs from Fort Pierce to the Keys.
Yeah. Well,
you know?
what about Don Trump Jr. or some of your connections?
You want me to call Don Jr. and warn him? You know.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying you have some kind of connections like that.
I do have connections. And, you know, hopefully they're listening. Joel, and I'll take that under advisement. Yeah. I'm glad you're concerned because you and I don't agree on a lot of these. We're both MAGA, but we don't agree on a lot of things like this very often. So that tells me I'm not nuts Candace.
I'm gonna go back to some of these articles too in the Palm Beach Post, the Daily News, because I looked at all those, and I remember seeing stuff about it. So I'm gonna just dig into that.
And don't forget DeSantis trashed Byron Donalds 2 days ago on television at a press conference.
Listen. I will stand by this. He has never been for Byron Donalds. Never.
Yeah. But he's trashing him publicly now.
Because he was. Yeah, he was for somebody else before. He doesn't want anything to do with, you know, because he represents Trump. That's why.
Yeah.
And you know, so anyways.
All right. Appreciate the call.
You get into it.
All right. You take care. You take care, Joel. If you're on hold, stand by. Very important here to understand. You know, the Florida race is so important, guys, for so many reasons for governor, for the whole national MAGA movement. See, I've been following gubernatorial races in Florida since I was a little kid. And Fishback is running his campaign like every winning governor we've ever had. He does a press event somewhere in Florida every day that's kind of a town hall. If you go through the past governors we've had, okay, Ron DeSantis, still to this day, I'm going to go in reverse, okay? And these are governors that won and became, these are people that ran for office and became governor. Governor DeSantis, two-term governor, when he started his campaign, and he still does this today, every day, DeSantis has had a press event somewhere in Florida. It might be in his office. It might be in a Home Depot parking lot. Yesterday, he was in St. Augustine giving a speech dedicating a new statue in St. Augustine of Frederick Douglass. Okay? He did that from the time he started campaigning, and he still does it today, and he was elected twice. Rick Scott was our two-term governor before that, and he did a campaign stop a day. We were with him at Wings Plus on one of those. Okay? Who were the other six? Charlie Crist was not successful, so you can't count him. Who are some of the other ones? Jeb Bush, another two-term governor. Okay? Another two-term governor. Jeb Bush did not win the governorship the first time he ran. He ran a second time in 1998 and won. The first time he ran, his father was president, and he lost. And he lost the first time around when he ran for governor because he thought the name recognition and his daddy being president was enough. And Jeb Bush came back and won in 1998 and had 2 terms as governor. He did every day, he did multiple local campaign stops in that second campaign every day throughout Florida. I had a direct number to Jeb when he was running that time. We used to have him on the show multiple times a week, sometimes in studio, sometimes on the phone. He was doing a campaign event during the whole campaign every day, multiple times a day, Jeb Bush. He was successful in that run. That's why he won. Who were some of the others? Lawton Chiles, very famous governor. He was a Democrat. And Lawton Chiles had a nickname. It was Walkin' Lawton. Lawton Chiles. He was governor for 2 terms, old Florida Democrat. And the reason they called him Walkin' Lawton is because when he ran for office, not just governor, any office he was in, he walked the entire state of Florida in his campaigns. That was his gimmick. He walked somewhere every day and had a campaign stop. In every campaign for every office he ever held, he was successful. Who was another one? Bob Graham's another one. Bob Graham had this thing. He was a 2-term governor who went on to be a senator for Florida. Bob Graham, another Democrat. And Bob Graham, he did a thing where he would go around the state of Florida and take and it was a big campaign event for all his campaigns. He would take a job for a day. And one time he went and worked at a radio station for a day. But he would take a job like he'd work at a gas station or a grocery store for a whole day. And that's how we did it throughout the entire state. The ones that have lost, like even when Jeb Bush first won, are the ones like Byron Donalds that aren't out there campaigning every day. Every successful governor we have had that has won and been reelected has had a ground game just like Fishback. You get it? Fishback is not just some kid from Davie who went to Georgetown who's down here running. He's got some big people behind him. Who? I don't know. But he's getting campaign advice from people that understand, like I just shared with you, what has gotten the successful candidates elected governor. And by the way, all the governors I gave you examples of just didn't win once. They were 2-term governors. So whether it's the Bushes or the Democrats or both working together, I don't know. But I recognize his campaign tactic. It's got a signature of every successful governor we've had. And Byron's is the campaign of a loser. But there is something Byron can do to win, which I'll tell you after the break. All right? If you're on hold, stand by. I want to talk about Jupiter Joe Thomas. Are you risking your retirement? You don't have to. With the no-risk retirement plan that you have with an annuity. 401k, well, everyone always talks about 401ks. Okay, you work hard all your life, you build up money in a 401k, you're retired. What do you do with it? What do you do with it? You're not working anymore to add to it. What are you just taking out? You know, with a 401k, you don't get a monthly check every month. You're not guaranteed monthly income every month forever like you are with an annuity. If you've got the 401k, what are you doing if you're taking out? You're taking away from your principal. Take that 401k and turn it into an annuity. The money's safe, and you get money every month. Mailbox money is what Joe Thomas calls it. And you're not eating away at your principal. And Joe Thomas can handle that for you, by the way. Give him a call and schedule your no-charge consultation. 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999. And online, JupiterJoe.com. We'll be right back.
Hi, it's Dr. Philip Appleton. You've been hearing my commercials about bye-bye pain, my laser weight treatment, but today's commercial and today's spot is going to be on Tom Laporta, Laporta Roofing. What an experience I've had with him and his company. They've done a few of my friends' houses and my son and my house, and there's never a downtime. They're old school, which means you call them up, they'll be there. How many times have you called somebody up and they never show up, or they give you an excuse, weather, traffic, whatever? Tom Laporta, what a class act. The workmanship, the magnificent teamwork they have. I recommend them 100%.
Thanks, Dr. Appleton. Now do what Dr. Appleton did. Pick up your phone and call Tom Laporta from Laporta Roofing on your cell phone. 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. And online, LaportaRoofing.com.
In the holy city of Helvar, oaths aren't just spoken, they're carved into stone and burned into flesh. From author Chase Powers comes an epic fantasy where faith is weaponized, mercy is dangerous, and the truth has a long memory. Star Forged Oath, available on Amazon. Kale Ren wants only 3 things: to stay alive, get paid, and avoid anything resembling belief. Instead, he's bound to a sentient star-forged sword that remembers every broken vow and hates the men who called themselves holy. As sacred trials turn bloody and the city's most revered legends begin to crack, he's forced to choose between survival and exposing a lie powerful enough to burn a kingdom. Star Forged Oath is full of sharp banter, found family, corrupted holy orders, and magic that always comes at a cost. If you like swords that argue back, heroes who question the gods, and stories where mercy is the most dangerous weapon of all, Star Forged Oath is your next must-read book. Available right now on Amazon in Kindle, paperback, and free with Kindle Unlimited. Order your copy right now and step into the crater.
Okay, a little less than a minute and we'll be back. We're still in radio station break. If you're new, make sure that you subscribe and please like the video, guys, if you don't mind. That helps grow the channel a lot. All right. Stand by. We'll be back shortly. All right, about 15 seconds, and we'll be back. Yep, calls on hold. Hang in there. I'm going to go to the calls when we get back. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. This is Vivi from Central Florida. I just wanted to add on to what you were saying about Fishback is his name?
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Because even my daughter was impressed by him.
Yeah.
And says, Mom, I like what he says. And I go, no. You got to look at other issues. One of the things I totally agree with you, where did he come from?
Exactly.
Is there any proof that he has voted? Is there any...
Well, I believe that he went... I believe he's from... I don't believe he's some fake creation. I believe he was born and raised in Davie, and I believe all that. But all of a sudden, he not only is he running for governor, but he's everywhere in the news and blowing up social media. And I'm telling you, every day I see him, the crowd is bigger than it was the time before.
Yeah, but we need to shift the crowd and says, okay, what proof does he have that he's going to be effective as a governor? There's no proof of nothing. He just appeared. This is where I am.
Proof. Yes.
So
he's a creation.
He's a creation. Anybody, I told my daughters, we are very, conservatives are very, very transparent. They know what we want. Anybody can say anything what they want to say because they know what we want.
Mm-hmm.
So they're just kind of tickling us and giving us, oh yes.
The shiny
go,
keys.
No.
Well, I'll tell you shiny keys. What part of it is this, okay? When someone comes out of nowhere you've never heard of, you got to be, like, as an example, J.D. Vance is the front runner to be the second MAGA president because he's vice president. But most MAGA people want Marco Rubio. I think even President Trump does. But he's vice president, and who knew how well Marco was going to do? We all love J.D. Vance. I'm not knocking J.D., but we don't know him as well as we know Marco because Marco Rubio's he was in state government since the late 90s. We have a huge history with him. We know who he is.
Absolutely.
We know what he did in the first campaign and how he grew beyond it. I remember when he had that disaster giving the response to the Obama State of the Union with the glass of water. We know him.
Yes.
JD is new. He was in Congress. He was in the Senate, 2 years? And 6 months of the last year was running for vice president. So we love JD, but we don't know him like we know Marco, right? So we don't have the trust that we have with Marco. Marco's known. This guy, Fishback, is like Vivek Ramaswamy and Obama. Some guy comes out of nowhere and says all the right things, and we find out Vivek's college got paid for by Soros's brother, right? So, come on. He should run for Congress. He should get a House seat or state House seat or something and prove himself. So we know how he voted and we know where he thinks because that vote says a lot about the candidate. Correct. So all right, I appreciate the call. That's what I want to add, and good job that you are on this. I appreciate it. All right, take care. Now I will say, what can Byron Donalds do? And I don't even know if Byron Donalds knows there's a problem. Okay, when I saw him on TV, let me see if I can pull this up while I'm talking. I saw Byron Donalds on television yesterday, and it was a clip. I know I have it somewhere. I played this on my podcast yesterday afternoon. Byron Donalds was talking about, now here it is. He was on CNN. It was after the State of the Union. Now, keep in mind, Fishback's talking about outlawing abortion and Planned Parenthood, drug testing kids in public schools, all these things, right? Here's Byron Donalds yesterday in Washington on CNN.
The previous economy under Joe Biden, we all know that was a terrible economy for everybody. Everybody was suffering in America.
You brought up GDP growth. Inflation was higher, but GDP growth was also higher during the Biden administration than certainly it was last quarter and the average of year to year. But Congressman, I do want to ask you about... That's not true, but okay. GDP growth? You can go check GDP growth. I mean, you can say what you want about inflation, but the GDP is what the GDP was. GDP growth last quarter was 1.4%.
John, here's what I will tell you. Under Joe Biden's economy, wages adjusted for inflation were down in America. I mean, families were falling behind left and right. 13 months with Donald Trump back on the job, wages adjusted for inflation are up.
I was talking about GDP. All I was saying was GDP growth, what you said was higher under Trump than Biden. That's actually not true. But I want to ask you about the tariff revenue right now. Right.
Okay. Now, Byron Donalds is right in what he's saying, but I cannot think of anything more terminally boring to talk about GDP growth between Trump and Biden right now. While you've got Fishback out there talking about all the hot button issues. You understand what I mean? Now, so what can he do? There are things about Fishback that would make scandalous TV commercials. Do you guys remember the Willie Horton ad? I was watching the Willie Horton ad last night because I was looking this stuff out because I was thinking about Fishback. And I was looking at some old campaigns online last night. And Willie, for those that don't remember or weren't around or have no knowledge, Governor Dukakis was the Democrat nominee running against Bush, H.W. Bush. Bush won. And he was what state was he from? What state was Dukakis from? Northeastern state. Can somebody tell me? I forgot what state Dukakis was from. But he was beating Bush. He was beating Bush in the polls. And he was a double-digit leads in many polls. I cannot remember what state. It just escaped my mind. Was it Massachusetts? Was it Massachusetts? Well, anyway, when he was governor, because Governor Dukakis, he was governor of Massachusetts. Thank you very much. He was governor of Massachusetts. They had this crazy thing that he signed off on. Convicted murderers could get furloughs from prison and go home for the weekend. And Willie Horton was a convicted murderer that Governor Dukakis gave weekend passes, like he's in the Army, to go home for the weekend. Well, he didn't go home, and he didn't come back to prison. He went out and found a couple, murdered the boyfriend, raped the girlfriend, and then he killed her after he raped her. And the Bush campaign put together this Willie Horton ad. It turned the campaign around in a second. The next day, it was over. The Willie Horton ad, very famous ad. That's what we need from Byron Donalds on Fishback. Okay? An ad like that. An ad. Not some social media influencer making a comment, an actual ad. And those of you that are longtime listeners, although a lot of people like to take credit for my hard work, I created a campaign ad during the Bush campaign that had a lot of impact. The Swift Boat Veterans ad, okay, was my concept. And that turned that campaign around. But Byron Donalds, I don't think realizes what I'm talking about here. I think he's up there talking about tariffs and GDP growth and thinks he's setting the world on fire. He's losing the race right now. He's losing the primary right now. And if he doesn't do something about it right quick, he's not going to be able to fix it. If you're on hold, stand by. I'll take some calls after the break. I got a lot more to cover too, but you're welcome to call in about anything I brought up so far on the program. The number's toll free, 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. I want to talk about the robotic laser away pain treatment with Dr. Appleton. The laser away pain treatment works on every type of pain I've ever heard of. Acute pain, chronic pain, herniated disc, rotary tears, plantar fasciitis, fibromyalgia, spinal stenosis, tinnitus, knee pains, back injuries, post-surgical issues, pre-surgical, TMJ, gout, bone-on-bone pain, arthritis, bursitis, and many other pains. I've met countless listeners. Dr. Appleton's been with us over 3 years on this program, going on 4 soon. And I have met so many listeners over the almost 4 years that Dr. Appleton has been with us that are living like me without pain again because of Dr. Appleton and his robotic laser away pain treatments. Someone was telling me the other day that one of our listeners from Europe has an appointment with Dr. Appleton. We've had listeners travel from all over the United States to see Dr. Appleton. There's no shots, no injections, no drugs, no surgery, no downtime. It works. The laser treatment's completely painless. Appointments are not necessary. Walk-ins are always welcome, even on Saturdays. That's right. And the consultation with Dr. Appleton is free. Give Dr. Appleton a call and say bye-bye to your pain. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. That's 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonCairo.com. If you're on hold, stand by. Back after this.
It's finally here, our second annual mega sale. This sale only comes around once a year, so take advantage of the best offers ever while you can. For example, save 50% on our Giza Dream bed sheets, as low as $29.98. And for the first time ever on TV, MyPillow mattresses and MyPillow mattress toppers, as low as $99.98. And you save 50% on our Lux Pure 6-piece towel sets. Regular $69.98, now only $39.98. And our best-selling standard MyPillows, regular $49.98, on sale for $17.98. Wait on it, mega sale, only $14.98. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to take advantage of our second annual mega sale. But wait, there's more. To make the mega sale even more special, when you order right now, your order's going to ship absolutely free. For the first time ever, we're bringing you MyPillow mattresses and mattress toppers for as low as $99.98. Remember, sleep's all about temperature and pressure points. Whatever sleep needs you have, we have the right technology for you. Like our MyPillow mattress topper, our queen size has over 10,000 individual comfort supports to help relieve your pressure points. And how about our 3-inch Hybrid Plus mattress topper? It's infused with copper and silver to help your body get the restorative sleep it needs. And our MyPillow and Case Coil mattresses, I personally helped develop these mattresses to make sure they have everything needed to give us great sleep. Plus, they're made right here in the USA, and they ship right to your front door, absolutely free. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to get MyPillow mattresses and toppers for as low as $99.98 and free shipping.
We're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, this is Hank from Hollywood. How you doing?
All right, Hank. What's on your mind?
I called Tom Laporta at Tom Laporta Roofing. He sent out Scott. Now, Scott is absolutely the best. Scott and Scott's crew are the absolute best. They gave me a great price. They did the job when they said they were going to do it. They finished the job when they said they were going to do it. The materials they used, absolutely the best. I want to thank Tom. I definitely want to thank Scott, and definitely want to thank Scott's crew. These people are number one, and I just want your listeners to know, Tom Laporta at Tom Laporta Roofing. If you need a new roof, call Tom at Tom Laporta Roofing. You're not going to go wrong. You're not going to be disappointed.
Do what Hank did. Call Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing on his cell phone, 954-604-4602, 954-604-4602, and online, laportaroofing.com.
All right, we got about a minute till we're back. We're still in radio station break. If you're on hold, stand by. I'm going to go right to the phones when we get back, all right? Right to the phones. And if you're on hold, hang in there, less than a minute. And I still have a lot of other things to cover we haven't gotten to yet, but we're here till 9. If you're new, welcome. Make sure you subscribe, and please like the video, everyone. Liking the video helps grow the channel a lot. All right, here we go. About 30 seconds, and we'll be back. What's your name? Where are you calling from? All right, we're back. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian. Let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, my name is Chris. I'm calling you from Texas.
All right, Chris.
I'm watching your live stream right now, and I'd just like to ask you, so you're familiar with the 22nd Amendment, right?
Tell me about it.
So 22nd Amendment states that a president cannot, someone in power cannot be in charge or be elected twice, right? So after 8 years, I'd just like to ask you about your hat. I mean, that's all I'm asking.
What's the problem with my hat?
No problem with your hat. No problem with your hat.
It says Trump 20. It says Trump 2028.
Right. So that means he can't be elected 3 times.
You think that
that's
somehow?
The only reason why I'm asking.
Well, you're very concerned with the 22nd Amendment. You seem to be a constitutional scholar. I'm sure you're familiar with the.
No, sir.
Well, I'm sure you're familiar.
Please,
I'm sure
please.
you're. Excuse me. I'm sure you're familiar with the First Amendment of the Constitution.
Freedom of speech, yes, sir.
Yeah. Well, that's where this fits.
Most definitely.
And the Constitution. Do you know how many amendments the Constitution has?
26.
27.
27.
Okay, so the Constitution has been amended 27, if you include the Bill of Rights, okay, because those are the first 10 amendments. So the Constitution can be amended and can be changed and updated.
Yeah. So look, listen, I'm not here to argue with you. I'm here to discuss with you.
We're talking. We're talking.
Sense. So look, listen, I'm not here.
And now you're trying to listen to yourself. All right, take care. Oh, boy. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello, sir. How you doing today? Eric from New York City. How you doing today?
Okay.
Just wanted to discuss, the Supreme Court really did a number on us not backing these tariffs. I don't think people realize the corporations, the rebates, and the American taxpayer is going to end up paying most of these tariffs.
No.
I understand the Supreme Court.
No, your understanding's incorrect. Your understanding's incorrect. But I know you've been distracted by all the snow. So no. President Trump had an incredible press conference Friday last week and explained it all. This is a good thing. The Supreme Court actually backed up the president. And over the weekend, while you were worrying about snow, President Trump did something amazing. Not only are the tariffs still in place, he added a 15% global tariff. So he actually increased the tariffs by another 15% over the weekend.
And also, do you mind if I add another point?
Well, no. Why don't you respond to that? No, I do mind. You brought up the tariffs. I responded, and you just ignored. You want to move on to something else. Listen, Trump, the Supreme, excuse me. President Trump won in the Supreme Court decision, and he added another 15% onto the tariffs globally. So whatever the tariffs were on any particular country, they're now 15% higher since the Supreme Court decision. So you're understanding.
Why is inflation through the roof, and why is the national debt even higher than it was even under the
None of those things are true.
It is very true. Have you gone grocery shopping, sir?
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, I eat food. Even MAGA people eat food. Now, listen. I don't live in some liberal place like you, okay, where you have a lot of other taxes and stuff. But no, the national debt is going down. They've been paying off.
How much is milk where you're at?
How much is what?
Milk where you're at. Eggs, basic home good stuff.
I don't know. I don't really pay attention that closely, but it's a lot less than it was a year ago.
And where do you live, sir?
I live in the great state of Florida, where the president lives.
Oh, okay. All right.
Don't call me from some blue city in a blue state and complain. You're in a Democrat hellhole, New York.
Well, sir, I'm not arguing with you. I'm just trying to make a valid point over here.
Well, every point you made's invalid. All right, let's see here. I've lost track. Let's see. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, IB.
Hey, IB.
Hello.
Yes.
This is like round 2. I'm glad that called you about the hat, because I wanted to remind you guys that my wish that Democrats would never see the White House until the 50s or the 60s. So I'm glad I'm following this call, making that point, because this is round 2 for the presidency for the Bush wing, the hidden Bush wing, and their clan. So right now, this guy just popping up, like he says, the shiny keys, like a barracuda is going to strike. And you have the guys out there, lapping their tongue like little doggies right now. So where did he come from? Who is backing him? This is round 2 for the presidency. Ryan already told you got to turn Florida red.
Correct.
Okay. So maybe nothing. They have to plant that seed. This is the building of the foundation, like the Chinese. The Chinese they need time before something takes place So this is just a seat. Even if he doesn't make it now, does he make it in the 40s? Doesn't matter. He's out there. What is his position next? Obviously, Trump is going to have to put his marketing team on Byron Donalds, because, like Brian is saying, he needs to be out there more and talking more about, what the future plan is. And he needs
what he's got to do is expose. He's got to expose Fishback. Okay, he's got to expose Fishback, and there is scandal connected to him. I'm not going to share what it is right now, but and if you know, don't. But there is scandal with Fishback, and if Byron Donalds would put together a commercial, much like the Willie Horton ad, and flood Florida television with it, and radio with it, in particular our radio stations, it'd be over, and he would walk right into winning the primary, Byron.
Okay, they don't understand the dynamics of Trump thinking. If you can research us in scandal, we can research you and find out truth, and then eventually we're going to use that against you in the future. Mm-hmm. The election isn't now. We have time to
and Byron they have a debate scheduled in April. I'm telling you, every time I see Fishback, the crowd is bigger. Every time. Okay? I don't know how they're getting there. I don't know if it's real or fake. I don't know if they're busting the men. I don't know. But all I know is perception. And every time he speaks, every day, the crowd is bigger and bigger and bigger. And Byron needs to expose this guy, or it's going to be too late.
Candace is winning because we're talking about her. I see her as the old National Enquirer, the gossip magazine. There was another one I can't remember right now. I see her as she's hooked. She has something that she has a hook, and she has to continue with the hook. She could be talking about so many things. Am I still there?
Yeah.
Okay, she could be talking about so many things going on, like just what happened in Mexico with the kidnapping of Americans, being held for hostages to the cartels. There's so much things to talk about. She's a National Enquirer, but it's not a paper anymore. And you need a lead story, like you just open a newspaper, and she needs a lead story, something to keep going until the next thing comes. But I agree with Mike from Louisiana and the other lady that this is too much. It is more than scorned, whatever the situation is. It is an obsession. And if I was a husband, I would literally pull the plugs out of the wall of the computer if she didn't listen to me and say, "Get off this woman."
Yeah, but they're making tons of bank. She's making more money than she's ever made in her life right now. So there's a little bit of a drug like that. All right, IB, I appreciate the call. If you're on hold, hang in there. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Conservative Doug.
Hey, Doug.
I have to agree, man. I think that Byron is not trying hard enough. He's certainly, when on CNN, when that guy overspoke on him, he should have been a little more harsh return and showed everybody that, I know what I'm talking about, and I'm a strong candidate. Then, plus, maybe I missed this, but I haven't heard Byron Donalds talking about the main issue, like no tax on real estate in Florida. So he's missing some of the.
You and I are both Floridians. I don't even see a campaign going on for governor. Do you, Byron?
No, he's taking advantage. I mean, everybody knows. I love Byron. I love to be able to vote for him, but this Fish guy is a good talker. He's saying all the good things.
He's very good.
Nobody knows who he is. So I would certainly prefer Byron, because I know who Byron is.
We all love Byron, and he has the president's endorsement. But you wouldn't even know he was running for governor. Let me tell you, you and I know he's running because we follow news and politics. Most people don't. Most people in Florida probably don't even know he's running.
Yeah, I wonder how many people in Florida don't even know who he is. He's not out there enough.
He's not as famous as he thinks he is. In political circles, Byron Donalds is a rock star. And I love him. And I saw him speak in person at Turning Point when I went a couple years ago in Palm Beach. He's great. But unless you're a political junkie, you probably don't know who he is.
Yeah, I'm hoping he'll wake up and start getting out there. President Trump can help him out a lot, but
I'm doing my best. Okay, we're on the radio here. Our radio stations go from the Treasure Coast south through the Keys, And you know, a lot of important people listen to this program, and I've been screaming from the rafters. This is Thursday. I started with this on Monday. And, you know, this is, the red alert has been sounded, right? I mean, this is serious business.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, this Fish guy sounds good, but who knows? You know, too many politicians say one thing, and then as soon as they get elected, they do something.
Would you
totally
hire a
different.
31-year-old to run your business? I mean, you got to have some. I know he's a rich hedge fund guy. I always worry about these hedge fund guys, you know, out of nowhere. They're millionaires at 30. I always have my eye on those guys. All right, appreciate the call. All right, you take care. I want to talk about coastal weight loss secret. Oh, man. It's so good to have lost all this weight. Those of you that watch me on YouTube, you can see, you know, I have lost so much weight, and I'm wearing much smaller clothes than I used to wear, especially T-shirts. Some of my old T-shirts, I still wear sometimes some of my old T-shirts that I had before I lost all this weight, and they're just too baggy on me, but I like what they have on it, but I still wear them. But sometimes I'll pick up one of my new shirts, like the one I'm wearing now, and I'll hold it up. I'm like, is this really going to fit me? You know, and it does, and it fits perfect because I've lost all this weight thanks to Coastal Weight Loss Secret, and you can too. They can help you lose weight no matter where you are in the United States. Call right now and schedule your no-charge consultation. 561-247-6300. 561-247-6300. That's 561-247-6300. And online, coastalweightloss.com. If you're on hold, don't go anywhere. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. My name is Brian Craig. We'll be right back.
In the cold silence of space, some battles are fought with weapons, others are fought with memory, loyalty, and blood. From author Alan Grangenet comes the powerful military sci-fi space opera where family and fate collide. Galilee Rising, Two Brothers, Two Ships, One Reckoning. Available on Amazon. In Galilee Rising, two brothers are torn apart by violence. Each believes the other is gone forever. One becomes a relentless hunter, operating outside the law. The other rises within the ranks of a powerful interstellar fleet. Both are driven by justice. Both are shaped by loss. And both are moving toward a reckoning that could change the galaxy. Blending heart-pounding space combat with deep emotional stakes, Galilee Rising is a story of duty, revenge, redemption, and the cost of survival in a universe at war. Galilee Rising is available now on Amazon, in Kindle, paperback, and free with Kindle Unlimited. Galilee Rising, Two Brothers, Two Ships, One Reckoning. From author Alan Grangenet. Order your copy right now on Amazon. On the line, we have Lewis. He had some issues with some taxes in past years, and he called Jamie Levac over at Swift Tax, and Jamie took good care of him. Lewis, welcome to the program.
Oh, thank you. How you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing great. So tell me how Jamie from Swift Tax helped you on your taxes.
I was having trouble with another company. I called Jamie, and the next day I brought my wife in there with all the paperwork, and he straightened all my back taxes out, and I'm actually getting money back now.
Wow, this is pretty amazing. So this other company you went to told you owed the government money, and Jamie over at Swift Tax took a look and found out that not only did you not owe money, you're getting money back from the government?
Yes, I got nice big checks coming soon.
Do what Lewis did. Call Jamie Levac over at Swift Tax. 954-773-1587. 954-773-1587. All right, we'll be back in about 30 seconds. I'll go back to the phones. If you're on hold, stand by. If you want to call in, the number's toll free and is pinned in the live chat, all right? Less than 30 seconds. We'll be back. The show is flying by today. Flying by. We're back. All right, to the phones we go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
We're back. All right.
You're on the air.
You're on the air. What's your name?
Oh, boy. Once, twice. All right, you missed your chance. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Yeah. All right, you're on the air.
What's your name? Where are you
Oh, here we go again. Once, twice. All right, you missed out your chance too. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, what's up? You call me Liberty.
Okay. No. Try again. You're on the air.
Hey, what's up? You call me Liberty. Okay.
No. Well, boy, I'm telling you, we're getting a run of them. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, it's Nick. I wanted to talk about the Marco Rubio stuff, and that Marco Rubio is making a law to burn the Israeli flag in America, and it's punishable.
Marco Rubio is the Secretary of State. He doesn't make law.
Yes.
Or vote for them or pass them.
He's putting.
No, he doesn't. The Secretary of State does not make law, pass law, sign laws, do laws. They're the Secretary of State. All right. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning. How you doing? This is Maria from Tamarack.
Hey, Tamarack. What's on your mind?
Nothing much. Just been so busy. I've been trying to call in the last couple of days, but your line been off the chain.
Yeah, I know. They're pretty busy. We got busy phones here. They're ringing off the hook.
Yeah. True. Okay, I want to address something. I want to address the State of the Union. I know it's kind of late.
That's okay.
Because that happened but it was beautiful. President Trump had a beautiful speech, and I loved it. I loved every bit of it. And also, I want to talk about Byron Donald. Yeah, that's true. I only been seeing him on Facebook. I haven't seen him doing any other rallies, and he got to get that together. Because I live in Florida, and we cannot afford to put a Democrat in there. No way.
Nope. And we can't afford for the president to lose an endorsement in a primary.
Yeah, definitely can't do that. So he got to get that together. So I think I found his email, so I'm going to send him an email and say, hey, what's going on? Get out there. Start campaigning.
Well, they should call me because if there's a campaign commercial, the reason I'm not sharing it, I don't want to spoil it. There is a campaign commercial that Byron Donalds could do that would end this. There'd be no more competition. But But I don't want to spoil it on the air. I don't want to give the opposition the information.
Yeah, true.
It would lessen the impact of the commercial. But there's political commercials flooding radio, television, and the internet with them are very effective in campaigns. And I got an idea for a TV commercial, Byron Donalds. It's all out there. You guys get in touch with me.
Yeah.
Ask Marco Rubio. Marco Rubio has my cell phone.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I know I'm name dropping.
Yeah, but right,
whatever.
It's amazing. It's right. It's amazing what Trump did in the State of the Union address. But I did not like it. Democrat acting like little kids that can't control themselves. And that woman, I don't even want to call her name because she disgusts me. And I'm a woman, and I don't like to say that about anyone.
Are you talking about Ilhan Omar?
Yeah, that one there. She's a very rude person. I don't understand why you in America for. You're so rude and you're so nasty.
Oh, I know why she's in America. She's worth $30 million now. That's why Ilhan Omar's in America.
Yeah, I know.
She's stealing from us.
I know, ripping us up like us. And she's stealing from us like we a seller, like we the money bank.
Yeah, you can't make that kind of money in Somalia.
Exactly. I wish they get rid of that woman there. Cause I went on True Social, and I went on another network, social media that I have. I think it was YouTube. And while the State of the Union address was going off, like, girl, shut up.
So
like,
how's it work? We talked a few weeks ago. You were leaving your black church, and now you're going to a white church. How's the white church going for you?
Oh, it's beautiful. I'm already in I'm in a ministry, like singing, and I'm like a head leader of because they have the children come near, and the children got a nursery.
That's quick.
And they have
Like in a
nursery
month,
set
you're
up.
already a leader in a month? Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, because I'm just that good.
Well, was I correct when I told you that the white churches are not as exciting as the black churches? It's a whole nother thing.
Yeah, but this church is very excited. Trust me. They have tons of shows and tons of stuff that they're doing. They got the outreach ministry. They have a cooking ministry. They got everything that I like to do.
Well, that's awesome.
Like everything that I like to do.
Well,
yeah,
I'm glad you got out of that
very,
liberal church.
Yeah, I had to get out of there. I can't do that.
Yeah.
Not with somebody talking about my president like that. No, I can't do that.
First off, I don't even know what that
no.
has to do with church. You know, churches should not be about politics.
Yeah, but see, when you dealing with somebody that's basically been told lies, because like I said, that person listened to CNN, MSNBC.
Yeah.
That's the problem there. You listen to the wrong people, and you're supposed to be, the person that we look up to, the pastor.
Yes.
Why you listen to these people? And he has said it multiple times that, you need to get your information. You need to watch CNN, MSNBC.
No.
I said, man, get out of here. No way.
No. And first off, there's a major conflict in being a Christian and a Democrat, because what Christianity is all about is completely the polar opposite of what the Democrats are selling.
Well, yeah, it's supposed to be, but Brian, I can tell you it ain't. I'm around a lot. I'm around a lot of those people. Not now, but I was for 11 years, and I can tell you right now, they so woke, they so in the pocket for Democrats, hey, it ain't even funny. They told me they rather for Republicans to lose to get rid of President Trump.
Mm-hmm. Well, listen, I'm glad things are going well. I'm glad things are going well. You take care. Good to talk to you. If you're on hold, stand by. Okay, so we got some updates of the Nancy Guthrie case, which we haven't talked about in over a week. Savannah Guthrie finally put up $1 million reward for her mother, and she said she didn't do it sooner because the sheriff told her not to. Let me tell you, if I was of the financial means of Nancy Guthrie, I don't care what some sheriff tells me. I'm going to put up a cash reward with as much money as I can raise. And if I'm Nancy or Savannah Guthrie, I can raise millions of dollars. And if my mother was missing like this, I would have had a $5 or $10 million reward the next day. Cash money, no questions asked if you return mom. Okay, that's it. But she didn't do that. And now, have you seen this 911 call? A woman called 911 and thinks that she saw Nancy Guthrie.
The caller is advising they saw a female out of a vehicle window screaming. The vehicle was a dark gray or blue Chevy Malibu, no plate. Advised that the female was hanging out of the window wearing all black, and the door was also open.
Was the woman in the car 84-year-old?
Did you guys hear that? This is from Inside Edition, by the way.
The caller is advising they saw a female out of a vehicle window screaming. The vehicle was a dark gray or blue Chevy Malibu, no plate. Advised that the female was hanging out of the window wearing all black, and the door was also open.
Was the woman in the car 84-year-old Nancy? The location given by the undetermined 911 caller is just 3 miles from her house. The disturbing call was revealed last night by Nancy Grace.
Is it connected? We don't know, but it's close to her home around the time she was taken. We can't really discount anything.
Yeah, I mean, I tell you, I just don't think Savannah Guthrie has acted like a normal child would act if their mother was missing. When you're so well connected and so rich, right? I mean, her husband knows all the presidents. She can get presidents on the phone. She can get anyone. She's at NBC News, which has an incredible investigative division with Dateline and all those things that they have going on. They have some of the top law enforcement people that have ever lived in the United States. She has access to them. She has unlimited financial resources. And she let this clown of a sheriff handle the investigation. It's very, very strange the way Savannah Guthrie handled this. I don't get it at all. And this 911 call, we're just hearing about this for the first time. No, this stinks. It's a sad situation, isn't it? It really is. And I'd like to think that, and I think you would also like to think of yourself that if you had at your disposal the contacts and the wealth of Savannah Guthrie, would you have sat around making a couple of Instagram reels and let this idiot sheriff handle things? Of course you wouldn't. You'd take charge and you'd offer $5-10 million the next day. No questions asked. We just want mom home. Now she puts up $1 million weeks later. I want to talk about Friendly Tire in Margate. I went over to Friendly Tire in Margate a couple days ago. I got off the air. I go out to my car after the show, and my rear passenger side tire was almost completely flat. I got in the car, went to the gas station immediately and filled it up with air, and I could tell it was leaking immediately. So I drove over to Friendly Tire. I couldn't find anything in the tire. I looked, and I went over to Friendly Tire, and I said, Mike, I need a plug, because, Friendly Tire does tire repairs. Other tire shops don't, but I can't find anything in the tire. Mike and his guys looked at the tire. There was nothing in the tire. The nozzle for the hose was broken, and they replaced it for me. Any other place in town would have told me I needed new tires, but I didn't need new tires. I just had to get the nozzle replaced. That's it. Isn't that something? That's right. Friendly Tire in Margate. You can get new tires out the door and on the road for as low as $75 a tire. Those are on common sizes on some of the most popular vehicles on the road. And that price, when I say out the door and on the road, Friendly Tire doesn't charge you to balance the tire, mount the tire, or dispose of your old tire. He has thousands of good used tires in stock for as little as $35 a tire. Give Friendly Tire a call. He'll give you a quote right over the phone, 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. That's 954-977-9445 for Friendly Tire in Margate. Calls on hold standby. Back after this. Just made it for the break.
This is Mark Laporta, son of Tom Laporta and proud second-generation owner of Laporta Roofing. As a military veteran who served in the Army after 9/11, I've brought the same dedication and discipline to our family business. At Laporta Roofing, we've been serving our community for nearly 4 decades, and we're committed to continuing that legacy of excellence. Our team specializes in all types of roofing systems, from shingles to tile, slate, metal, and flat roofs. We're the go-to experts for single-family homes, HOA communities, and condo associations. What sets us apart is our unwavering commitment to customer satisfaction. I've personally implemented systems to ensure you receive the best in customer service and workmanship. Don't miss out on our limited time offer for a free roof inspection. Call us now at 954-604-4602 or visit us at laportaroofing.com. Trust the experts who have been protecting homes like yours for generations. Again, that number is 954-604-4602.
Some parts of life are funny, some are messy, and some parts are just plain confusing. And that's what makes it real. In the book, That Life Stuff, available on Amazon, author Aaron Mullins shares poetic reflections that explore life from different angles. The highs, the stumbles, and the lessons we don't always see coming. These inspirational poems remind us that perseverance matters, that sometimes a change in scenery can shift everything, and that when we find ourselves stuck in a rut, there's always something to learn from those blunders. This isn't complicated philosophy, it's honest insight, the kind that makes you pause and see your own story a little clearer. If you've ever needed encouragement, perspective, or simply a reminder that growth often comes from the messy parts, That Life Stuff is for you. Order your copy right now on Amazon in Kindle, paperback, and free with Kindle Unlimited, because life may be complicated, but wisdom doesn't have to be. That Life Stuff from author Aaron Mullins on Amazon.
For the first time ever, we're bringing you MyPillow mattresses and mattress toppers for as low as $99.98. Remember, sleep's all about temperature and pressure points. Whatever sleep needs you have, we have the right technology for you. Like our MyPillow mattress topper, our queen size has over 10,000 individual comfort supports to help relieve your pressure points. And how about our 3-inch Hybrid Plus mattress topper? It's infused with copper and silver to help your body get the restorative sleep it needs. And our MyPillow and Case Coil mattresses, I personally helped develop these mattresses to make sure they have everything needed to give us great sleep. Plus, they're made right here in the USA, and they ship right to your front door absolutely free. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to get MyPillow mattresses and toppers for as low as $99.98 and free shipping.
All right, stand by. We'll be back shortly, guys. One minute, we'll be back. $15 seconds, we'll be back. What's your name? Where are you calling from? We're back. The 8 o'clock hour has begun. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. Nancy Pelosi made a statement I didn't think was possible. Listen.
So thank you so much for joining us. You have sat through a great number of State of the Union addresses, some of them behind the president. What was your reaction to what you heard this evening?
Well, first let me say that I think that Governor Spanberger did a remarkable job just insisting on the truth, which is what we have to do when we're dealing with this president. I thought the speech was lazy. It's one thing to acknowledge patriotism and people getting well and everything when you have absolutely nothing to do with their courage or the rest, but you spend an hour and a half doing it. What is the state of the nation?
Wow, patriotism. Too much American patriotism. Nancy didn't like it. Shocker. I didn't think you could be too patriotic, but Nancy Pelosi thinks that you can. I love how these Democrats think that Trump just would have done this or just would have done that they would have approved. It doesn't matter what he does, okay? It doesn't matter what he does, they're not going to approve it. All right, now I want to talk about what's going on with the Clintons, okay? A lot's being made that Bill and Hillary Clinton are giving depositions in this congressional hearing. They're doing it from their home in Chappaqua, where they're sentenced to a life sentence of having to live together forever. This really is, it's a trap, really, is what it is. This Clinton deposition is a trap. First of all, do you think Bill Clinton minds? He loves the attention. He doesn't care. As long as they're talking about him and he's relevant in the news, he's excited. It's probably Hillary's fault that they're doing it in Chappaqua. President Clinton would love to return to Washington and have cameras waiting around for him for hours to walk into a House hearing or a Senate hearing or the Capitol building, okay? Believe me, he misses it. So he's loving this. But it's still a trap, okay? One, nothing is going to come of anything that the Clintons share or testify about. Nothing. But don't you understand what they're doing here? So much of what goes on in the United States is through legal precedent, and they're setting a legal precedent of bringing a former president and former first lady into a congressional hearing to be questioned. The trap is this. This is what they plan on doing with President Trump and Melania for the rest of his life. They're going to, if the Democrats get control of either house of Congress, they're going to bring the president and Melania in to testify for the rest of his life. Do you think that this lawfare against him, that these Democrats are just they're never going to let it go? And when, in the first campaign, when people were chanting, lock her up, which, by the way, President Trump never said lock her up. People in the crowd did, but he never said that. A lot of people don't know that. It's like Kirk never said, "Beam me up, Scotty," in any episode of Star Trek, not once. But people think Trump said lock her up. He says, if I were president, you would have been in jail, but he didn't say lock her up. And at the time, I said, no. You don't want to lock her up, because if you try to lock her up, they're going to try to lock Melania up one day. But this is setting the stage for that in the future. They're never going to let this end with the Trumps. Every member of the Trump family is going to go through harassment for the rest of their life, and they're going to use this as the legal precedent to do it. Now, there's been a big development in the Fanny Willis case. Oh, this is huge. John Solomon from Just the News. He's amazing. I like John Solomon a lot. He dropped this last night. Listen.
And on that note, a second story that I know you probably heard about. It was trending all day on social media. We're calling it the Fanny Files. That's right. Georgia's former prosecutor, the current Fulton County District Attorney, Fanny Willis, was indeed plotting all along with the Biden White House, the Biden Justice Department, and the January 6th Democrat Committee to plan her case against Donald Trump and his associates, those who were involved in protesting election results. Now, we all think in America we have protection from double jeopardy, meaning we're not going to be prosecuted twice for the same crimes. But what you see in the new documents that Just the News obtained with the help of the America First Legal Institute, tremendous public interest law firm. We spent 3 years fighting for these documents. Fanny Willis claimed they were privileged, claimed they should be redacted, claimed we weren't entitled. We ultimately won them. 8,000 pages in all. You got to see them this morning. Is that the Biden White House worked with Fanny Willis and said, listen, we'll pierce President Trump's executive privilege. You can have anything you want. Now, that's very rare. Executive privilege is almost never pierced for a state prosecution or state civil case. Secondly, the Justice Department said, you want access to our people? No problem. We'll sign TUI agreements and allow you to get our best people to testify before your state grand jury. Then the January 6th committee said, come on down, get any documents you want, any videos you want. We'll help you make the case. That happens. Then, as you're going to learn tomorrow, Fanny Willis's office was offered a grant. Literally, the Justice Department said, hey, just apply for this grant. We'll give it to you as a sole source. All right, so some money is exchanging during the same time frame. And then Jack Smith brings his federal case against Donald Trump. And then right after it, Fanny Willis, just a few weeks later, brings a state case, basically double jeopardizing Donald Trump and all of his colleagues in these cases, double draining.
Hold on. I clicked you by mistake.
The legal resources and the reputational stock that those people had by twice indicting them.
Okay, so we've got two big stories today about the lawfare people, right? This one here is amazing. So now we have the documents that prove that Fanny Willis was illegally working with the Biden White House. Okay, the double jeopardy thing is true, but illegally working with the Biden White House to bring that Fulton County case, that's illegal. Political retribution against their opponent, the Biden White House. And then I opened the show today with a story that's amazing. Kash Patel yesterday fired 10 FBI agents. Kash Patel, through an investigation, found out that the Biden FBI, before he was FBI director, when he was just a civilian during the campaign, had obtained Kash Patel's phone records and Susie Wiles, the current White House Chief of Staff's records, both of their phone records. And by the way, when they obtain their phone records, they're also getting their text messages probably. And who knows, maybe they're even listening in on phone calls. But people don't talk on the phone too much anymore. They really want the text messages and the phone records of who they're communicating with. And he fired them, and there's an investigation going on with that because that's not legal either, spying on American citizens that way. So the lawfare criminals, we're starting to see some results. We're starting to see things begin to happen. These are complex cases, and things are starting to come together. So we found out about Fanny in the Biden White House, which is a crime. Now this new thing with the FBI monitoring Kash and Susie Wiles. But the big takeaway from Kash and Susie Wiles is they got nothing on them. You know, they've been investigating everyone in the Trump camp, just like the president, since he came down the escalator, going into their phone records, breaking into their houses and such. And do you know what they found on Kash Patel and Susie Wiles' phone after they got them? Did you see the story of what they found? They got all the records, both of them. No, you didn't see the story. You know why? Because they didn't have anything embarrassing or illegal, but embarrassing. If they found something illegal or embarrassing on either of their phones, it would be everywhere. And it shows that the president, as the people around him, are squeaky clean Marines, or believe me, they would leak things out to humiliate them. If you're on hold, hang in there. We'll get to some calls after the break. Sloman's Home Security's free home security system with free professional installation and 24/7 central station monitoring offer is still available. Take advantage of it while it is there. You get all of that for just $24.95 a month for 5 years. Your Sloman's Home Security system includes a touchscreen keypad, 3-door window sensors, a motion detector, notification, and remote keypad access. So you can check in no matter where you are. Give Sloman's a call right now, no matter where you are located. 833-283-5050. 833-283-5050. That's 833-283-5050. We'll be right back.
It's finally here, our second annual mega sale. This sale only comes around once a year, so take advantage of the best offers ever while you can. For example, save 50% on our Giza Dream bed sheets, as low as $29.98. And for the first time ever on TV, MyPillow mattresses and MyPillow mattress toppers, as low as $99.98. And you save 50% on our Lux Pure 6-piece towel sets, regular $69.98. Now only $39.98. And our best-selling standard MyPillows, regular $49.98, on sale for $17.98. Wait on it, mega sale, only $14.98. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to take advantage of our second annual mega sale. But wait, there's more. To make the mega sale even more special, when you order right now, your order's going to ship absolutely free. For the first time ever, we're bringing you MyPillow mattresses and mattress toppers for as low as $99.98. Remember, sleep's all about temperature and pressure points. Whatever sleep needs you have, we have the right technology for you. Like our MyPillow mattress topper, our queen size has over 10,000 individual comfort supports to help relieve your pressure points. And how about our 3-inch Hybrid Plus mattress topper? It's infused with copper and silver to help your body get the restorative sleep it needs. And our MyPillow and Case Coil mattresses, I personally helped develop these mattresses to make sure they have everything needed to give us great sleep. Plus, they're made right here in the USA, and they ship right to your front door, absolutely free. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to get MyPillow mattresses and toppers for as low as $99.98 and free shipping.
Okay, we'll be back shortly, guys. Hang in there. Hang in there. We're a little behind. We're still in radio station break. So hang in there. I mean, this one here, this was amazing. This is how bad the Democrats are. Listen to this, CNN.
Right, he pointed to a little girl, Delilah, who was almost killed by an illegal alien, miraculously came back. She was there with her dad. When you have Democrats who won't stand and applaud her recovery, yeah, I think that's
Sadly,
crazy.
people are killed in America every day. Sadly. and the majority of them are killed by U.S. citizens. So whether an undocumented immigrant,
I'm saying
whether
this
it's an
calling out about
undocumented immigrant or a U.S. citizen who's the perpetrator, the bottom line is somebody has...
Right,
Wow. I mean, isn't that crazy? I'm going to play that on the radio when we get back. Okay. We got about 40 seconds and we'll be back. That's pretty bad. Oh, well, Americans kill people too. Oh, okay. So illegals are entitled to kill people? Is that what do they hear themselves? Do they know what it is that they're saying when they say these things? If you're on hold, stand by. If you want to call in, the number is toll free. It's pinned in the live chat. Why would you trust Candace Owens? All right, 15 seconds. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. Listen to this. This clip is from CNN, and they're talking about, this is post-debate analysis yesterday. Listen.
Right, he pointed to a little girl, Delilah, who was almost killed by an illegal alien, miraculously came back. She was there with her dad. When you have Democrats who won't stand and applaud her recovery, yeah, I think that's crazy.
Sadly, people are killed in America every day. Sadly. And the majority of them are killed by U.S. citizens. So whether an undocumented immigrant, whether it's an undocumented immigrant or a U.S. citizen who's the perpetrator, the bottom line is somebody has...
Right,
Does that even make sense to Democrats? Oh, well, okay. Yeah, an illegal killed that person. An illegal raped that person. Then they killed him. An illegal tried to kill that person. But Americans do crimes too. Does that make sense to Democrats? When they say that out loud, does that make sense to them? Do they think they've made some great counterpoint or something? What are they saying? Because some Americans do crimes, rapes, and murders that illegals are entitled to them too? Well, Americans have the privilege of rape, so illegals should have that right to... What are they saying here? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
It's Greg.
Oh, yes, Greg.
Yes. Very good morning to you. Sir, listen, I hear you, this constant scrutiny, of how a family's handling their beautiful mother who's disappeared, probably is most likely dead, and you scrutinize every inch of their actions, everything they're doing. Who are you, this person, to do that?
I'm a person who gives their thoughts and opinions, and I am a son, and I have a mother, and if I had the financial resources and connections of Savannah Guthrie, and my mother went missing this morning, okay, I wouldn't do an Instagram video and let some incompetent clown boob of a sheriff run the investigation. I'd be out there offering $1 million on day one.
Okay, aren't the FBI
That's who I am.
And wait.
Wait. Let me respond.
You don't let me respond. You let Dog and all these other losers. Yeah, listen, I'll give my retort back to that.
Your retort?
Who is Brian Craig? Can I speak? You never let me speak. That's a problem. You let these other losers speak ad nauseum.
Oh, other losers. So this is interesting. So you're saying you're a loser? You say I let other losers speak, so I should let you a loser speak too more? Okay. You just called yourself a loser. You said I let these. You said this, and I quote.
Oh God.
Won't you let me speak? Again. You let these other losers speak. So you just called yourself a loser. Why do you feel like such a loser?
Wait. Can I respond now? Are you going to let me speak?
I've been letting you speak. You've been doing a great job.
Oh, no, you don't. You interrupt me. Who is Brian Craig, this awesome person? If it was my mother, if I had the research, how much would you put up of a reward for your mother right now?
Every penny I have.
How much? How much?
If I could get together $1 million, it'd be $1 million.
Yeah, and do you think that would have
if I could get together? Yes. Yeah.
Oh yeah. How do you know that? How do you know that?
On day one, because Criminals care about one. Excuse me. You asked who I am. You self-identified as a loser. So I don't even. Why should I even talk to you? If you're a loser, why should I even have a conversation with you? Do you think I should talk to losers?
Loser, by the way.
You said you're a loser. You said, Brian, won't you let me talk? You let these other losers speak. Oh my goodness, get off the phone, loser. I guess we got a nickname for Greg. We call him Greg 2. Greg 2, the loser, the self-identified loser. Oh my goodness. The problem he has is I let him talk. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, man, I'm calling from Texas.
Okay.
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, hey, how you doing this morning?
Okay.
All right, man. Hey, so I was just wondering, man, did y'all know that, like taxes are up, man?
Taxes are up? What's up, taxes? Taxes?
Yeah, man.
What tax is up?
Man.
Tell me what tax is up, man. What tax is up?
Well, tariffs are a tax, bro.
What tax is up?
Tariffs, man. Tariffs add a tax.
You pay tariffs? What line of work are you in?
What you mean what line of work?
What do you do for work?
Man,
what do you do for work?
That doesn't have anything to do with
Yeah,
tariffs,
sure. You say the tariffs are up. So I'm trying to find out what are you you in the import-export business?
Actually, I am.
Oh, well, really? Which end of it are you in? Are you in the? What a coincidence! Oh boy, one loser to the next. So which end are you in? Are you an importer or an exporter?
I'm both, bro.
What do you import and export?
Clothes.
Clothes?
Shoes.
The
things that
okay.
the everyday
So what type of shoes? What type of shoes do you export? So you export. What type of shoes do you? I love that. This is great. I've never talked to a shoe exporter before. What kind of shoes do you export? What kind of shoes do you? Excuse me. I'm speaking. What type of shoes do you export? What type of shoes? No. What kind of shoes do you wear? Everybody wears shoes. What kind of shoes do you export?
I don't. Well, you're from Florida. You probably run around barefooted.
No, I'm wearing shoes right now. You manufacture shoes in the United States and you export them. What?
I got a good pair.
You make flip-flops?
Nobody.
Flip-flops have been out of style since '79.
Also flip-flops.
All right. The only thing flip-flopping is your common sense and stupidity. You're flipping from stupid to stupider. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. These cosplay callers, I love it. They all have these backstories. They don't they don't think too deep about their backstory before they call, do you? None of them do. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my Lord. Okay. Let me see. Who am I going to talk about here? Hold on. Let me check my list of stuff. What am I going to talk about? Oh, of course, Coastal Weight Loss Secret. Oh, man. I Coastal Weight Loss Secret. They've changed my life. I tell you, when I first went over there and I started losing weight, I remember somebody told me, they say, I tried a diet once and I gained the weight back. People love to motivate you, right? Yeah. Someone told me they gained all the weight back. Here I am. Over a year later, I have not gained back a single ounce. I am here to tell you, I have not gained back a single ounce. Coastal Weight Loss Secret works. And the reason I'm able to keep the weight off is because I didn't have any big lifestyle changes to lose the weight in the first place. There's no shots, no pills, no medications. Didn't have to starve myself. Didn't have any crazy workout routine. The only thing I exercise is my mouth talking to idiots like those last two callers I had. That's my exercise. My mouth gets a lot of exercise, but it doesn't burn a lot of calories. And because I didn't have any major lifestyle changes, keeping the weight off has been easy. Call Coastal Weight Loss Secret, no matter where you're located, and schedule your no-charge consultation. 561-247-6300. 561-247-6300. And online, coastalweightloss.secret.com. We'll be right back.
Leadership isn't always about standing in front. Sometimes it's about standing in between. Author Shinta H. Hernandez, Ph.D., shares a powerful memoir about leadership, shaped by challenge, visibility, and resilience, and leading from the bridge, What Every Storm Has Taught Me. Available on Amazon. From privilege to hardship, from public policy to higher education, the author found herself navigating spaces that were never designed for her. And in those moments, she discovered a different kind of leadership, leading from the bridge, where cultures meet, tensions rise, and transformation becomes possible. This must-read, thoughtful, and deeply personal book introduces the Bridge Leadership Framework, offering insight for leaders facing complexity, uncertainty, and high expectations. Whether you're an emerging leader or seasoned executive, this memoir offers clarity, integrity, and purpose for the storms every leader must face. Lead with courage, lead with vision, lead from the bridge. Order your copy right now on Amazon in Kindle and paperback. Leading from the Bridge, What Every Storm Has Taught Me, from author Shinta H. Hernandez, Ph.D.
On the line, we have Lewis. He had some issues with some taxes in past years, and he called Jamie Levac over at Swift Tax, and Jamie took good care of him. Lewis, welcome to the program.
Oh, thank you. How you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing great. So tell me how Jamie from Swift Tax helped you on your taxes.
I was having trouble with another company. I called Jamie, and the next day I brought my wife in there with all the paperwork, and he straightened all my back taxes out, and I'm actually getting money back now.
Wow, this is pretty amazing. So this other company you went to told you owed the government money, and Jamie over at Swift Tax took a look and found out that not only did you not owe money, you're getting money back from the government?
Yes, I got nice big checks coming soon.
Do what Lewis did. Call Jamie Levac over at Swift Tax. 954-773-1587. 954-773-1587.
For the first time ever, we're bringing you My Pillow mattresses and mattress toppers for as low as $99.98. Remember, sleep's all about temperature and pressure points. Whatever sleep needs you have, we have the right technology for you. Like our My Pillow mattress topper, our queen size has over 10,000 individual comfort supports to help relieve your pressure points. And how about our 3-inch Hybrid Plus mattress topper? It's infused with copper and silver to help your body get the restorative sleep it needs. And our My Pillow and Case Coil mattresses, I personally helped develop these mattresses to make sure they have everything needed to give us great sleep. Plus, they're made right here in the USA, and they ship right to your front door absolutely free. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to get MyPillow mattresses and toppers for as low as $99.98 and free shipping.
Okay. All right, guys, stand by. We're 20 seconds away. Oh, boy, oh, boy. All right, we're back. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, this is Richie.
Hey,
Good
Richie.
morning. You know, the guy just called up about taxes when he meant tariffs. Okay, I am so sick of the American people, not MAGA, but the Democratic Party, and how they're jumping on affordability and the tariffs. They're making tariffs so terrible. Let me tell everybody this. As a little boy growing up in New York City, there was a place called the Garment District. You used to see people in the streets, racks of clothes. Not there no more. You know why? All the crap is made in China and Asia. You know, and if you go to the South, like Vice President Vance said, they closed all these factories up, all the steel factories, everywhere up in the country, factories shut down. Car manufacturing shut everything. Okay, so you know what happened here with the country? We became a bunch of instead of making things, we just were buyers.
Yes,
and that
consumer,
was good for the
a consumer
Party.
nation.
Great.
But Richie, slow down for a second, okay? First off, that idiot that you're talking about, you really think he's an import-exporter?
Well, it doesn't matter. He doesn't want to sacrifice
listen,
a little bit.
It's he doesn't want. Listen, what you have are a bunch of Democrats who will jump on anything. whether it's tariffs or the files or this or that. All they want to do is try to say something negative about Trump. Everything that guy said was a lie. He's not in the import or export business. He said he was in Texas. He was in Tennessee because he called back during the break to go back on. Now all of a sudden he's in Tennessee. He was in Texas before. All these liberals out there, all of them on TV or here, they're lunatics who, I mean, look at this. I played this clip of this Democrat lady from CNN before I talked to the self-identified loser who's saying we shouldn't grieve a child who's been lost because everybody dies. Yeah, everybody dies, so there's no grief. Yeah, I mean, look at how low the Democrats have gone, Richie.
It's not about grief. What she's trying to say is there's no difference between an illegal and an American citizen. That's the bottom line. In other words, they don't believe in the country. They believe in an open border. That's why if they get back in, they'll flood this country again. President Trump is right. They do not care about the people that are voting for him. As long as they're in power, like Nancy Pelosi making millions of dollars in a government job. That's all they care about.
Yes.
All of them up there. And it's just disgusting. People are open their eyeballs.
Wasn't it interesting, though, that Greg, too, identifies as a loser? He said he's a loser. He says, will you let me talk? You let the other losers talk.
I heard that.
I mean, what do you think? Why do you think he feels like a loser? Why does he identify as a loser?
No, he's identifying a person like me because he's already brought my name into it a lot of times. You let Richie talk, Richie the bus driver. So Greg, he spends most of his phone calls to you is, can't you let me talk?
Yeah, I know.
And when you let him talk, he still asks you, can't you let me talk?
Yes, I know.
You keep interrupting me.
Yeah.
Listen, I interrupt you. It's your show. I'm sorry to say, Greg. Brian's got something to say. Let him talk, and then he'll let you talk. But Greg just won't let you open your mouth. Greg just wants to filibuster.
Yeah.
And it's not too good. I mean, he's not listening to what you're saying. He's only listening to what's coming out of his mind.
Yeah.
He's not willing to listen.
Yeah, that's correct. Yes.
That's the bottom line with Greg. But people ought to say, hey, tariffs are temporary. In World War, let me go to this real quick. In World War II, people sacrificed for this country. They built things to build up the war machine. People work together. Tariffs are a temporary thing, man, and they're to bring manufacturing back to this country. Don't they see that these factories are going to be
and those are good paying jobs, not you can't even have you been to Walmart? I went to Publix the other day in my neighborhood. You go to Publix, they have one on Saturday. They've got like 2 baggers and 2 cashiers. Everything's automated now. You go to Walmart, it's the same thing. I went to Target. It's almost all automated now. You can't even get a retail job anymore because everything's computerized. Trump's trying to bring manufacturing back to the country that are good paying jobs.
Exactly right. Because and they're not government jobs. Trump made a statement in the State of the Union. It's very important because the Democrats just want to give government jobs out. If you took a look at how many jobs Biden in 4 years, it was all government jobs, not private sector. We left here really stripped down. Trump is trying to work.
Remember when Bill Clinton I remember when Bill Clinton he put 100,000 new cops on the street. Remember, he counted police dogs as cops, and he counted computers. Like he gave 10 computers to a police department that counted the computers counted as 10 cops. Remember that? Their counting's a little off.
It's just sad what they've become. They want government.
I mean, you can't even when I was a little boy and I lived up north, I used to shovel the snow in the front of the house of my neighbors. You can't even do that anymore. You got to have 2 forms of state issued ID to shovel snow in New York. Little kids can't even get jobs shoveling snow for the neighbors anymore. They ain't got no ID. All right, appreciate the call, Richie. Oh, my goodness. Sometimes I feel bad with some of these callers when they reveal things. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Brian from Deerfield.
Oh, hey, Brian.
Hey, Brian. How are you today?
I'm doing better than
Brian,
Greg.
We call it the State of the Union speech, but we have 2 different states of the Union. The State of the Union Republican Party is, I think, in great shape. It's excellent. But this Democratic Party has descended so low now the contrast between the two was really, Trump did a great job of bringing it out. They're a pathetic bunch of no ideas, hate everything, don't stand for the values the American people have, and they highlighted the State of the Union. Last year's, the prior one, that really shone through, but this was really pathetic.
Well, I'll tell you, this one here is when he asked them to stand up if you think Americans have a right to live and not be raped and murdered, and they, you know, what they did was reaffirm that everything we've said about the Great Replacement theory is the Great Replacement fact, that their constituents are now illegals. Right. And let me tell you, I want to just mention this. I watched a breakdown this morning before I went on the air of the takedown of that cartel leader in Mexico.
Right.
And it was done with U.S. intelligence. This has been confirmed now. This guy was El Chapo big. He had $20. He's a drug dealer with $20 now. He had $20 billion. He had $20 billion in cash at his fingertips, and that's not including the money that he had somewhere else. He had his cartel was bigger and richer than the Sinaloa cartel, and U.S. intelligence brought down this big cartel leader, I mean the biggest, and they used the same tactic that was used to get bin Laden, a courier. U.S. intelligence was monitoring a courier, and this courier picked up one of his girlfriends and led them to to where he was staying, which was out in the woods, hidden in a secluded area. And President Trump took out this big cartel, and it was a major military action. Now, the feet on the ground were the Mexicans.
Special ops involved on the ground?
They didn't say anything about U.S. special ops on the ground. It was Mexican soldiers, but it was our intelligence and that handled everything. And he just took out the biggest drug. Think about it. The two biggest cartel people in the world he's taken out. Maduro and this guy's name I forgot. I call him El Dedo. He's dead. And they waited till the girlfriend left. They followed the girlfriend to the house. She went in there for a while. I guess they had sex. She left, and then they attacked after she left.
Wow.
He didn't even let her stay the night, the girlfriend. He kicked her out. He didn't even let her stay. But, boy, she's lucky he didn't. But he took out the two biggest drug dealers, Maduro and this guy. And all of you out there that gave him a hard time for pardoning the former president of El Salvador that was in league with the cartels, how do you think he's getting all this intel? From that guy.
Sure.
I told you when he pardoned him, they made a deal.
Right.
I'm all choked up. I'm thinking about this. But this was what President Trump has saved so many lives from drugs in the last few months by taking out these cartel leaders, shutting down the border. It's amazing what he's done.
Absolutely. You know, he's putting them out of business one way or the other. These are bad guys.
And
these are really bad guys.
I'm sorry to our flip-flop salesman that called earlier. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, yeah, well.
That's the only shoe he could think of were flip-flops?
Yeah, I did hear the call. Yeah. You know, I don't know.
All right, appreciate the call. All right,
bye.
You take care. You take care. All right, hold on. All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, Jay from Jersey.
Oh, hey, Jay. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good this morning. How about you?
I'm always well.
Oh, well, that's good. That's good. I was listening to, the thing about Charlie Kirk and all this, that, and the other. I just need to ask you a question. People are all upset. Didn't Charlie Kirk say there has to be sacrifices?
There has to be what? I didn't understand what you said.
Sacrifices.
There have to be sacrifice. I don't think he was talking about his life. I don't think he was talking about his life.
He was talking about someone else. Other people are going to have to die. That's what he said.
I cannot. I don't believe that. But whatever.
You don't remember him saying? You don't remember him playing that he said that?
No, not in that context. I don't know. I don't know the context. If he said that, I would have to hear the context.
You tell me what it was. You heard everybody.
I don't know. I've never heard Charlie Kirk say that.
Are you kidding me?
So what are you telling me that he sacrificed himself on television?
No,
what are you? Why did you call me? Why did you pick up the phone and call me? What thought did you think you had in your brain?
What?
What thought did you think you had in your brain that you wanted to share? You called me, and what's the point you're trying to make?
He said there had to be sacrifices.
Okay.
What is wrong with the fact that he was the sacrifice?
let me tell you, you are not just a lowlife, you're a sick, twisted person. You are a sick and twisted person. What is wrong with you? Why would you say something like that? You're a grown man. You have a family. Why would you say something like that? What kind of person are you? I don't believe that he. I don't know. I didn't. No, excuse me. He didn't talk. I don't know what you're talking about, but I know you're a sicko.
Okay, Google it then.
No, I'm not going to Google it. I'm going to hang up on you. What the heck? No, I got to do a commercial coming out of the break. I'm not going to do a message for somebody following that. It's the Steve Kane Show. My name's Brian. If you're on hold, stand by. Our number is 888-465-2631. We got to have a buffer. 888-465-2631. We'll be right back. What a strange man. What a strange man. Stand by, guys.
Good morning.
Hey there, we got less than about 45 seconds, so I'm going to keep you on the line here. So just hang in there. All right, it's time to check in with William Youngerman with today's Gold and Precious Metals Report. William Youngerman, how the metals looking?
Metals looking good, quieted down today after yesterday's exciting day. We saw gold trade in a range of $5,125 on the low, all the way up to $5,219 before settling back down to $5,164 since the ounce on the close. That was up $21.60 yesterday. Silver up to $91.42 yesterday before pulling back to $89.09, $89.09 on the close, still up $2.07 on the day. Platinum, big gainer yesterday, up $119, closing out the day at $2,280, but we were up as high as $2,355 on platinum at one point yesterday. So, and palladium lost $4 yesterday, closing out the day at $1,760. This morning so far, we've had gold trading in a range of $5,155 overnight to $5,206. Wow. And right now we're at $5,165 and 90 cents. Giving back yesterday's gains, down $2.09 at $87. Platinum down $17 after yesterday's big gain, down $17 now at $2,236 the ounce, and palladium down $10 at $1,750. Wow.
What are some of the best buys in gold you're recommending right now?
Best buys in gold, of course, still are the pre-1933 U.S. $20 gold pieces and $10 gold pieces. We can sell those so close to just their gold value now that it's an amazing buying opportunity for people who want a piece of history solid asset in gold and something that they can really kind of brag about, show people that they haven't seen these in 100 years. So that we have. We also have, of course, all the bars and all the other products. We make a good two-way market in all of the rare coins and precious metals that we sell. So there's good opportunities there in just about everything. Silver products are holding their own right now. We've got pretty much everything in stock. The best buy on silver, still 90% silver. You can buy 90% silver coins, dimes, quarters, and half dollars at $5 under the spot silver price. So that's that's one of the only things you can get actually for less than the silver price trading.
That's something. $5 under?
Under dollar, yes, under spot.
You know, it's interesting because in gold and silver, you know, you're talking about pre-33 gold and 90% silver. These are solid coins in both that are always in demand. I mean, that's money. They're both money, literally. I mean, when you talk about the pre-33 and the 90% silver, and at these prices, well, you guys that know pre-33 gold and 90% silver, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Give William Youngerman a call. He opens up at 10 a.m., 1-800-327-5010, 1-800-327-5010, or stop in. His address in Boca is 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca, on the first floor of the Bank of America building, just east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto. And you can find both his address and phone number online at williamyoungerman.com. All right, William Youngerman, we'll finish out the week tomorrow.
Okay, have a great day.
You too. Take care. All right, if you're on hold, hang in there. We're starting to get some really good polls out. CBS, they hate Trump at CBS, right? They hate him. Very liberal over there, right? I hate all Republicans. Look at this. CBS poll, views of the speech among those who watched the speech. So CBS did a poll where they actually polled people that watched the State of the Union. His approval, 75% in the latest CBS poll. Trump's approval, 75% in the latest CBS News poll of those who watched the State of the Union. Disapproval, 25%. Margin of error, 3 points. So his approval could be as high as 78. And even if it's on the low end, it's still 72. We're in world record polling territory, no doubt. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. This is David in Royal Palm.
Hey, Royal Palm. What's on your mind?
Well, I've heard a lot of people talk about, us, consumers taking the hit for tariffs, and I'm starting to realize that most people don't realize that the price list foreign holders use for American buyers is usually about 30 or 40% higher than they would to sell to other countries.
Mm-hmm.
So they just automatically drop their prices when they get hit with this.
Exactly.
We're not taking hits on any of that.
Yeah, exactly. And they don't know. They just you know what they are? They're parrots. They say it on MSNBC, so they just repeat it. They don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, and 50 years ago I studied this in economics, and it hasn't changed. They know this is a premier buyer, so they automatically up the prices for us. So all we're doing with the tariff is getting a more reasonable rate.
See, the American buyers like Walmart have tremendous negotiating abilities because they are such large buyers and we're such large consumers. You're exactly right. That's why when you hear that Walmart and these companies are not passing the tariffs along, it's because they don't have to, because the sellers are making the adjustment.
Exactly. I just wanted to throw that in. I know you're getting short on time, but I appreciate your show, Brian, and I just wanted to throw that in.
Well, thank you. Good call, and you added something to the conversation, which is more than I can say for a lot of the callers. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, good morning. My name is Bob. I'm in New Jersey.
Yeah, Bob.
Yeah, hey, Trump said he's going to lower prescription prices by 1,500 or 1,600%.
Yeah, he's been doing that. Haven't you watched? He's been doing that. He's had several programs in place. He's been out there with Dr. Oz and others, and they've been lowering prescription prices on a lot of things all over the country.
So if they lower it 1,500%, how does that work? Like Merck or Pfizer, they'll pay me to take the drug?
This is what happened. This is what you get it. You're not stupid. You're just pretending to be stupid. You're trying to be a smarty pants. Yeah, see, you're just a guy who probably desperately needs therapy because you have issues with strong.
Can you answer the math question?
You have no, I cannot since you asked. Or I should say, I will not. But you obviously have issues with
because you don't know how to do simple.
You obviously
like
have issues, Donnie. You obviously have issues with strong, successful men like Donald Trump, and somebody did you wrong, whether it was your dad or some kid at school that got all the girls and you couldn't. Donald Trump reminds you of that. And,
Remember when Trump slept with Stormy Daniels?
No, I don't, because it didn't happen. Even Stormy Daniels. So you gave up on that. Now you're moving on to the other one? Pervert. And he's laughing. Oh, my goodness. Stormy Daniels even signed a statement that that did not happen. I want to talk about Life Imaging FLA. It is Love Your Heart and Body Month. We're still in February. And Life Imaging FLA that have locations in Broward, Palm Beach, and Dade County, they're all about preventative help. And, preventative is where it's all at, because prevention today means memories tomorrow. You don't want to miss those moments that haven't happened yet. And when I talk to people who had no symptoms whatsoever, and they go over to Life Imaging FLA and find out they have blockage, they find out they have cancer. I'm like, well, I'm like amazed that I was able to share Life Imaging FLA with them. Call Life Imaging FLA for your free heart scan now with a few minimum requirements valued at $699. From your cell, call pound 250 and say free heart scan. You'll be connected in seconds. That's pound 250. Just say free heart scan and you'll be connected in seconds. Have you noticed something with these callers like that last guy? I obviously touched a nerve with the daddy issues or the guy that could get all the girls in high school and he couldn't. But you notice with these liberals, they bring something up, I'll respond to it, and what do? They want to go to the next. He starts with the prescriptions. I'm responding to that. Well, what about Stormy Daniels? Or what about this? Or what about that? They want to go from one thing to the next. And one thing is clear. There's a lot of psychological issues that men out there in this country are having. There's a lot of guys out there that need some serious therapy. Think about this. If you're a grown man in America and you're an American, what is Donald Trump doing, proposing, or advocating for, or has he done that you could possibly take issue with? Really, think about it. I'm talking about a grown man in America. I'm not talking that's a U.S., that's an American, okay? You got to be a grown-up, and you got to be an American, okay? So if you're a grown American man, tell me one thing Donald Trump has done in this second term policy-wise that you don't support and why. Think about that. Can you think of anything? There's a lot of, I didn't realize how many people have daddy issues in this country. And there certainly are a lot of them, and it's really frightening. But I got news for you. You Never Trumpers are a cult. We've got polls from CNN and CBS with Trump having double-digit by far support. The CBS poll, 75% approve after the State of the Union in the CBS poll. There was a poll I had yesterday from CNN that was in the 60s. And you hear these guys, and they're weirdos and perverts. Most of them that are guys, what do they immediately go into? Something perverted, something sexual, right? Like that one guy, Stormy Daniels, which everybody knows didn't happen. Stormy Daniels even said so herself, Or they'll bring up Epstein or something. They always go into this realm of perversions. You know why? Because they're the perverts. But I've got news for you. Donald Trump is the first MAGA president. He's not the last. There's been a big change in this country. And there's been a major awakening in this country. That's why the Democrats, by not standing up, said that they care about illegals, because they've given up on the American people. They care about people in other countries. That's why they oppose Donald Trump, because they're concerned about their new constituents, which are the illegals. You're on the air.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for
you. No, one call per day. The rest of you on hold, stand by. We'll be back tomorrow. Oh, tomorrow, I can't believe it. It's Friday already. One call per day. Tomorrow's Friday already. Tomorrow is open phones. Friday, it's open MAGA Mike Friday. And on Open MAGA Mike Friday, you can call in about anything and everything on your mind. Tomorrow's show prep is up to you, so you guys can spend your day doing show prep, and I can sleep in a little bit tomorrow. But no, tomorrow is open phones, Open MAGA Mike Friday. It's every Friday. Monday through Thursday, you got to call in about what we're talking about. But on Friday, everything is up to you. Now, I want to remind you guys before we leave that, hey, it is tax time. If you've not called Jamie Levac yet, I'm going to give you his number. This number rings directly to Jamie Levac. You can call or text. Jamie Levac can help you with your taxes no matter where you're located in the United States. 954-773-1587. 954-773-1587. His office is in Broward if you want to meet in person. But even if you're local, you don't need to meet in person. You can do everything over the phone with Jamie Levac. And he does great work. This guy knows taxes. He's going to make sure you get the largest deduction that you're entitled to, and that you get all the deductions that you're entitled to under the new tax code. 954-773-1587. 954-773-1587 for Jamie Levac at Swift Tax. It's the Steve Kane Show. My name is Brian Craig. Those of you who want to hold, stand by. You'll be first in line tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. Take care. All right, we're clear. All right, guys. Hey, listen, I got to run, but make sure before you go that you like the video, and please